What's up, YouTube? So I'm about to go live here on TikTok. Give me a second. I'm going to do my thing as I always do. One moment. I got to come up with a title. Let's see. Trump praises Allah. I mean, he did. What a shithead that guy is. He's such a piece of crap. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the liberal loudmouth, and we are back again for some more action in this impromptu gathering of truth seekers, shall we say. Now, let me do some shit here and get myself ready. I'm going to share my own show out to let people know, because this is not my normal day. Let's see here. John, you'll get one, but you get one. Chip, you're going to get one. What's up, Cozy Cash? You'll get one. You'll get one. We are live. Impromptu. Today's Sunday, isn't it? Isn't today Sunday? I think it's Sunday. Sunday. Yep. Impromptu Sunday live. I was on Hawk Showtime's live earlier, and I got a bug up my ass to go live. It was a good live. Joe Rican, what's up? What's up? Praise be to Allah. All right. Trump praised Allah today, which I thought was a little comical. That dotard. He doesn't even know what it means. All right, I'm going to go into my alt real quick just to get my shit set up. I just started the live, so just come in, make yourselves at home. You know the drill, as we do. All right. Request. There we go. There I am. All right, so I got my alt. Everything's set up, ready to rock. This is a kind of a Fuck It Friday type show, really. But the premise is April 15th is the day that the tankers, the last of the tankers that would have been coming from the Middle East, arrives here. Because there's a serious delay. What's up, Lil Red? There's a serious delay, so, you know, we haven't really felt the impact yet of what Trump has started. And he did start it. He started it unnecessarily with Iran, and shit's gonna get a lot worse. Is rationing coming? You know, with C-19, the like a kind of a peek into what was coming. I don't know. Now let me send out real quick. Let me invite somebody. I had wanted to. Oh, that's weird. It won't let me. All right, there we go. Come on in. You can be first. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I had to do something. Hassan is requesting up. I was going to try to do a one-on-one with Chip for a minute, but I think he may have stepped away. Chip was on Hawk Showtime's live with me, and Chip's always great. He's a wealth of knowledge. What's up, Hassan? How are you?
What's up, brother? Chilling. I can't complain, really. I love Chip Barnes. We can always learn from Chip Barnes. He's one of, my favorite people to talk about this subject. So,
yeah, I feel like all he does is sit around and just read shit, right? I see Chip, like, yeah, from the time he gets up, he's like reading a book. Yeah, I mean, and speak of the devil, and he shall appear. But I say that with love, Chip. What's up, man?
No, were you talking about me being an information maniac?
Right. I was like, I just picture Chip. The moment you get up in the morning, you start reading something, I imagine.
Actually, I spent about 4 years of my life when I was sort of taking a break between my different business ventures just to learn and study. So I read and watched videos on all sorts of topics and just kind of was a sponge. And then when TikTok came around after October 7th, I got involved in being a host, and it was like trying to do a data dump on people for a year and a half. So yeah, I'm a weird person. I do have a weird way of doing shit, but a lot of it sticks in the brain. So it's not good either. I wish I didn't, because ignorance is bliss. Whoever said that knew what they were talking about.
That's for
And
sure.
with great power comes great responsibility, Chip Barnes, right?
Unless
Well, I
you're
don't know about
Trump.
that. I mean, the people that are causing the most problems in terms of great power are the ones I think we need to talk about the most. That's our problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
were getting into it earlier on Hawk's show, which, it's interesting because those Zios used to come up here all the time, Chip, as you can probably attest. They don't come here anymore. I don't know why, but it's almost like they can't allow any negative thoughts about what Israel is doing to go unresponded to.
Yeah.
Has that been when you were hosting? Did you get a lot of that where they would just come up and say the most ridiculous shit?
Yeah, I went through a period of time where I would bring them on and try to have these interactive debates, and what I learned is that they literally they don't take anything in. I'd be willing to take in evidence in case something would change, but they just weren't. They're sort of impermeable, and they've been indoctrinated in a certain way, and they're so defensive and so team oriented that they lack objectivity and independent standards. They don't apply the same standard to all situations. They give themselves a pass. When it comes to civilians, they say, "Oh, well, it's not intentional." But when anybody attacks their people, it's intentional. It's just absurd.
Yeah. It with what we're seeing now, like, I mean, I've got this Trump tweet that, like, this shit is wild. Well, it's a true social post, whatever. Let me read this real quick. I imagine you saw it. He said Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. I mean, aside from that being ridiculous for a president to say, like, what do you think the ramifications of him doing this are going to be different from what it is already?
Well, it's interesting. There's a video of Jake Tapper that I just saw before I flipped over here, purportedly through CNN, and he read that tweet, except he skipped the part about Allah. They didn't report that. They didn't show it on the screen either. They kind of blocked it out.
Wow.
Very strange. I thought they would have
Interesting.
reported on that.
What?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you share that so I can play? What the? I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
It was just weird because I'd read the Truth Social post and I'd seen it, and so when I didn't report it in its entirety, he read the part with the bad language. He said, warning, but he skipped the part about the praise be to Allah, which I thought was weird.
What the
I,
hell?
I don't think Trump wrote that, by the way.
Who do you think wrote that? Fucking Kushner or Witkoff or somebody?
He's got people on his communications team within the White House that I think wrote that. I don't think Trump could write that. I think Trump is jacked up right now.
That's wild. I hopefully, because I'm on Jake Tapper right now and I'm trying to find an obvious, like, reading of that, but I don't see it.
I can.
Was the video that you saw, was it just about that, the post, or
Yeah, it was a short
Okay.
video just talking about the alarming nature of that post.
okay, I'm gonna be digging for that. If you guys wanna, I'll dig for that video, see if I can't find
Yeah.
it. But go ahead.
In the meantime, look, like the fact that America is the superpower, it's the one that is calling the shots today. The American government is the government that can go beyond and above the international law. It can discredit the United Nations ruling. It has the veto power to discredit literally 150 countries that are voting for a ceasefire. Just by raising the veto privilege, it can discredit all of that. But with that being said, we cannot just sit and while we're seeing all this happening, as I'm sorry is not enough, and they're not even willing to do that. Like admitting the fact that they fucked up, that they made a mistake, and trying to fix it. This is not even in their dictionary. Like they will never admit that they were in the wrong.
Oh,
So
thank you, Chip.
sorry.
Oh, no. Please go ahead. I was listening as much as I could while because I'm. Oh, this is on Instagram. Okay, real quick. Go ahead and finish your statement, please, Hassan.
No. You're good. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. Show
All
us
right,
what you got.
here we go. Oh, it was somebody that. Oh, I see. Okay, so I was looking on Jake Tapper's TikTok. That was my mistake. Let me pull this up here, guys. I appreciate the patience. Here we go. What a joke.
In extraordinary graphic terms.
giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language.
Oh, my
Quote,
God.
Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered to constitute a...
Wow. Okay, so at least they didn't cover it up in that instance, but the fact that
No,
he
they
didn't.
did.
No, I read it. It was on there. It was on the screen.
He didn't read
Phrase
the full
on law.
message though, so people.
No,
probably
he
didn't see
didn't.
that.
Right. But it was,
law.
the words themselves were, on the screen. I did see them. But
Yeah, they were there. Yeah,
But even still, that's purposeful. I mean, that's so gross. This hatred of Islam is so weird to me. I don't get it. Now, this Zafran person, do you know this person, Chip?
oh yeah.
Okay, well, they had requested earlier. I could invite them real quick.
I mean, at your own risk. Someone, his main point is, why don't you see any Palestinian jet fighter pilots? That's his main argument about life.
I mean, that's, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
And every time
Yeah,
I've ever
I mean,
interacted with him, he calls me KKK, anti-Semite. It's always the same nonsense.
Oh, I think that guy's been up here before, or was it? Yeah, because I remember somebody else, you had warned me when I brought him up, and they did exactly what you said they were going to do.
I'd love to have a substantive exchange with him, but he just doesn't have it in him.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Some of these people are just crazy as shit. But
Did I hear this correctly? Chip, did you say he was arguing about the fact that why do Palestinians not own fighter jets?
No, he said, tell me the name of one Palestinian combat pilot.
Bro,
As if-
Palestinians don't even have passports. Talk
Duh,
about them being
duh.
pilots.
It's an absurd, sort of standard to set. I agree.
right, they don't have an airport either, right?
They don't. Not in the West Bank, neither in the
Right.
Gaza. No
So,
passport. No right to carry passports. No airports. So what?
And I love how Israel has a right to exist. Oh my God, they're trying to take away our right to exist, while simultaneously committing a genocide in Gaza, controlling the water, controlling the land, controlling entry and exit, controlling imports and exports, controlling them.
Yeah.
Like, do they not have a right to exist?
Well,
Right.
We
again,
at least go ahead, Chip. Sorry.
well, I was going to say again, you look at the mindset, and again, it's them against the world, and anybody who opposes them is not worthy of anything. And so, the lowest on the totem pole, and this is in their language, not mine, Arabs. They absolutely have total disdain for Arabs.
I wonder, did that precede the creation of Israel in 48 from your readings?
What in terms of, they refer to everybody who's not from the J. Crew as goyim, so they have a general disdain for anybody who's not tribal. But particularly in this region, once they aspired to take over Palestine, going back to the 1920s, there's always been this struggle. When the British occupied Palestine after World War I completed, they hated the British as much as they hated the native Arab population, but they hated both. But even David Ben-Gurion spoke about this, that they would need to rid the land of all the Arabs. And, he said, why wouldn't they hate us? We've come and we've taken their land. And, even though God promised it to us, it's not their God. Why would they believe that? And therefore, although it's crude what they do, it's not unjustified. Ben-Gurion said that.
In a way, they tie their livelihood and their existence to the Palestinians and the Arabs' non-existence. So the only way for them, in their heads, the only way for them to exist is by annihilating the Arabs and the Muslims and the Palestinians. That's the only way they can guarantee their survival.
Yeah, and Kennedy publicly spoke out on national television, by the way, that he wanted to see a more balanced approach to the region. He thought it was unfair, the Israeli approach of wanting to rid the territory of all Arabs, and it would create, ongoing strife. He was absolutely right, of course. Whether you agree with one side or the other, there's been nothing but strife in the region ever since then. So obviously our one-sided policy has been probably the culmination in some of the blowback that we've seen in instances where U.S. or others get hurt from the West. It's not because they hate people in the West. It's because they hate the way our government is functioning vis-a-vis their adversaries locally.
Right. And being used to, to the means and ends of what Israel wants or
Yeah,
thinks they
solely,
want.
solely for Zionist concerns rather than a balanced approach to all human beings.
Yeah. Now, I know earlier Elliot was talking about your comments about a conversion into Judaism. What was it that happened that made you say that? Like, because I've heard this before, but I wasn't sure exactly the context in which that
Yeah,
statement
so
was
this
made.
is conjecture. There's not. Elliot always wants a written source. This is not the kind of stuff. There's going to be something in writing as a receipt. But
Sure.
what's been reported by some, Pastor Rick Wiles reported this in a formal video, but others have spoken to it, is that Donald Trump in 2017 quietly converted his son-in-law Jared Kushner, and Jared's father Charlie encouraged Trump to convert to Judaism under a sect called Chabad Lubavitch, which, by the way, is a multifaceted organization. It's got a presence all over the world, a lot in the United States, does some good things, has a charitable arm to it, does a lot of philanthropic activity. However, much of the big, powerful individuals who support this interconnected economic and political alliance that's supportive of not only the connected Jewry, but also Zionism, are members of Chabad Lubavitch. And this guy, Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who died in 1993, was deemed to be by this particular sect the Messiah. And they've tried to convince Trump that he's sort of the second coming, and his job to deliver the third temple and to bring about the Armageddon for the prophecy in the land of Israel. As crazy as that may sound.
Yeah, and like, how much do you think their religion actually is driving them versus just out and out greed, right? And just wanting to control. Like,
Well, it's a
you know what I
combination.
mean? Like genuine biblical, like they really think that.
It's Venn diagrams. So if you take the totality of the people, not everybody, as a monolith thinks of certain things. There's some people that are more secular, but more financially driven. There's some that are religiously driven. But the connecting fibers among most, not every, but most, is this sense of commonality of connected identity through matriarchal, lineal, ethno-Judaism. And so that is, in other words, let me tell you what that does. If you're a person that's born into this way of being, not everybody who's born matrilineally acts and thinks this way because they don't get transmitted the same way in their household, but many do. And this is kind of how it goes. We're the chosen people. We have to stick together. Your loyalty needs to be first and foremost to your people, not towards any other political considerations, no matter where you may be. And it's that sort of separateness, not a distributed loyalty and lack of a willingness to fully assimilate into culture, which has created the divides that have led to things like expulsions, not to mention the other problematic things like usury and child sacrifice and political subversion and these kind of things. Again, not everybody does it. It's not all of them, as they say, but it's always them.
Yeah.
Let's take Benjamin Netanyahu as an example, right? Benjamin Netanyahu, before he was president and before he got into politics, his brother, his blood brother, was in the IDF, and his brother was unalived during operations. So this is one personal kind of motive to why he is in this position that he is in right now. When you take that, and then also consider the fact that, I don't know if you guys have seen this video where Bibi Netanyahu there's a rabbi that talks to Bibi Netanyahu like maybe 30-40 years ago, and this is one of the prominent rabbis, the rabbis that
was Menachem Schneerson from Chabad Lubavitch.
Thank you, sir. Yes, exactly. So you see how they built him up to have that sense, that feeling that he's doing this not just because not for just the Jewish people or the Israelis. He's doing that, like, they made the cause seem so big and so heavy to a point where it's like, you are the one who's gonna bring the Messiah. Make sure, like, that's
Right.
what the rabbi was telling him, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
no, go
scary.
ahead.
And then they
Yeah.
come and they come and they tell us, look at the charter of the H group. Look how the H group are Islamist extremists. Man, your president, literally your current president right now, has been enticed to be the president because one rabbi came and told him, you will be the one to bring in the second Messiah. You know, like, and also your claim to
It,
this land is because you are the chosen ones and this land was promised to you by God. And then you come and tell us how ridiculous the Palestinians' claim is.
yeah, and like to a narcissist like Trump, he's like, wait, I could be the chosen one? Could I be the chosen one? I mean, this is something right up his alley. He would just love that. I'm doing it for God. I mean, this dude just eat it up, just licking the feet of, you know, whoever is patting him on the head. It's so weird. And it was kind of what you said, Hassan, reminded me, Chip, of what Elliot was arguing with the, you know, what I was reading from the Bible. Because a lot of the stuff we see exist in their Bible, like saying that they're gonna, you know, feed off the wealth of nations and shit, and foreigners will rebuild your walls and their kings will serve you. It says, for the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish. It will be utterly ruined. And Eliot's response to that is like, well, that's not that they will do it, but that's what God is going to do. And it's like, what's the fucking difference?
I'm so glad you brought this up. Because look, there's one thing that almost nobody knows in the Quran, right? The Quran, which is the book for the Muslims. Do you know who is the prophet that is mentioned the most in the Quran?
Jesus.
No, not Jesus. Moses. Moses and his story with the Israelites. Can you believe that? And just coincidentally, Moses' story seems to be the story that is mentioned in the Bible, in the Torah, and in the Quran, and it's like it matches. All the biblical books tend to empathize Moses' story with the Israelites, and there's a reason for that, man. There's a reason why the first chapter in the Quran, which is the longest chapter, is called the Heifer. And it talks about the story of Moses and the Israelites. Moses is mentioned 100 times more than Muhammad in the Quran. You know? Because God is trying to tell us something.
It's a lot more than 100, I believe,
yeah.
Moses is mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, this because and then look, Muslims have 5 pillars of faith. One of the 5 pillars of faith is believing in all the prophets, believing in all the biblical books and all the biblical religions. You know, when you compare that to the charter of what the Jays believe in, they deny what we consider to be a part of our faith as Muslims, to believe in all of the messages, and just the messages being like a series, you know, a continuation in a way. They deny everything and they put themselves as the superior on top of everybody else. That tells you something, you know. And then as far as
because they're chosen, didn't
and
you know?
mentioned, look, host, you mentioned prophecies. Prophecies tells us a lot, because the thing is, in Islam there are prophecies, in Christianity there are prophecies, and in Judaism there are prophecies. When you compare all 3 of them, there's the common denominator, which is there will come a Messiah that will lead the righteous into whatever it is they believe in. But what's not common between the 3 is how this Messiah will come, you know, and who is this Messiah. So for us Muslims, we believe that Jesus Christ is our Messiah, for example. Did you guys know that?
Yes. And that's why it always confuses me when like Christians get so upset with Muslims, because I'm like, y'all are like praying to the same God, reading about the same stories from different perspectives of the area. It's kind of strange to me. As an atheist, I'm an atheist, so like, you know.
So am I.
Yeah. Well, Dad, go ahead. You know, you haven't spoken yet. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So like I find it so hard to understand how we can find so much differences in books that men have wrote. Men did these things. Men wrote these books. Men wrote the Quran. Men wrote the Torah. Men wrote the Bible. And the thing is what do men do better than anything else? They lie.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
really.
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
unalive. We spend
and then,
a lot of resources figuring out how to better unalive each other. It's wild.
Right.
But
well,
that's the case.
In the name of religion. In the name of religion.
If that's the case, then it's ridiculous for the Israelis to base their claim that they are entitled to this land because they are the chosen ones and they are promised this land by God.
Absolutely.
But I'm the chosen.
We men, if there is a God, do you really think that God cares about where the border of Mexico is, or whether the Gulf of America, or it's called the Gulf of Mexico, or if Canada is on our team? Or, man, if there's a God, we think so large of ourselves. You know, we think that, oh man, this one God that created this whole universe is in charge of us. You know,
Right.
and he's focused on us
And the borders. That's a great point.
Yeah, and
I
the
mean,
borders and
it
the immigrants.
seems
And
silly and
Come on,
arbitrary.
man.
Yeah, it's very
Right.
arbitrary. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
It's-
Chip, in terms of like getting into the minutia of the religion, or the things that have been said, like, what are your thoughts on that, based on like any historical aspect that you can think of over your years of study?
I'm actually in a very loud place right now, so you might want to skip me until
Okay,
I get out
sure.
of my loud place.
Sure. Yeah, just let me know when you're done. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I
man.
mean,
Go ahead,
mine
brother.
so much is. Oh, go ahead, Hassan. I'm sorry.
No, please. I want to listen.
You know,
I
mine
have
is
nothing
just
to say.
based on my own observations of my life and the world and how things are. And, you know, I grew up a Catholic, and a lot of times I say I'm recovering Catholic, because, what woke me up more than anything to Catholicism isn't the religion itself. It's how the priests act. It's what the priests did throughout my whole life.
Kid
They were molesting
diddlers.
kids my whole life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I just can't sign on to any of that, especially when it means that we have to fight against these things, and then we only find out when we're dead if we were right or not. Come on, man. It's
Right.
just ridiculous.
Yeah. And then,
Host, correct
yeah,
correct
go ahead,
me if I'm
Hassan.
wrong, but have you
Go ahead.
ever heard Muslims or Palestinians claim exclusivity to that land?
No.
No, I haven't had him. But one thing that differed from what you were saying about Jesus and stuff like that is that, from my understanding of Muslims, and I was around a lot of them. I spent some time in on the inside, and there's a lot of Muslims on the inside. So, the thing is that when it comes to Christ, they do not believe that he's the Son of God. They don't believe that you can't attribute any human qualities to God, because that in itself would make God imperfect, right?
True.
And Muslims believe that God is completely perfect.
True. That's correct. What you said, sir, is correct. We as Muslims believe that all messengers and prophets are human, and
Right.
and that's the difference. So we believe in Jesus Christ as much as we believe in Adam or Jacob or Joseph or Isaac, etc., etc., etc. We don't give any of them more of love and like more of
More closer
entitlement.
to God, right?
Yeah, because that
Right.
will deny the whole message. The message is there is this one entity that created everything, that came from nothing and have no sons, no daughters, no mothers, no fathers. That entity is beyond the logic and the understanding of human beings, and that is why we should, if the fact that this entity, the creator, is able to go into human form and intermingle and give that sense that there is a son, there is a daughter, then that humanizes him, then that makes him something that we can think of from a human perspective, and that is not correct. That will like taint the image of God, because God is nothing like human beings are. How can you put the person that literally created the universe, the planets, and kind of judge him in a way that human beings judge each other? Well, he created us. How can we know his limits, his you know what I'm saying?
I completely understand what you're saying. I just find it more evidence to say that there's probably not a God. That maybe we did evolve, or maybe we did come from a huge bang in the universe, or because the thing is that if this God created all of this and this is all these things, then why would that same entity just allow it to all be destroyed and allow us to kill each other and allow us to starve children and allow us to
Good question.
Well,
Good question.
look,
Let
I
me
mean,
answer.
God unalived babies, right? So I don't know if that's perfection.
Here's how I would
If that's
explain it.
perfection, then you know.
Host, let me ask you a question. If I ask you today, as a human being, living in this universe, how knowledgeable are you about the universe? How percentage wise, do you know? Are you 10% knowledgeable out of, like, when it comes to
I know what I
knowing?
know, and I know that I'm not going to fill in gaps with that which I do not know. I am not going to pretend like there must be something that I can't understand, this entity or being that's created us and has some divine
I'm
that's
not even asking
stories.
you about the entity, host. I'm asking you
Well, I'm
about
just saying
here.
that's why I'm an atheist. I just, unless somebody can prove it to me,
Fair, that's
you
fair.
know,
But
I
but as a human being living on Earth, when it comes to science, for example, how much are we missing? Like the fact
a
that we
lot.
don't know,
99%.
right? A lot, and that's just on this. That's just on Earth. We didn't even come to talk about the vast, expanding, ever expanding universe. We don't know nothing. If I like. It's fair for me to say that we as a human race know 1% of what's out there. The rest, we don't know nothing about.
if
Like,
we're
we
lucky.
don't.
Mic check. Mic check. Okay, you get it. Earlier, I tried to talk with this alt, but it wasn't working. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. So
I've been on
let's
other
kind of bring
lives.
this back to April 15th. For the record, is the day that I believe the last tanker from the Middle East reaches the U.S. because it takes a long time to get from there to here. So we're going to start seeing the ramifications of what Trump has done here pretty soon. And that's going to cause a lot of problems in the country. Now, if you want to relate this to biblical text or prophecy or whatever, that's fine. But what do we think the outcome will be here? Do you guys think that the United States is going to be successful in its ends, whatever that is?
No, I think that everybody's going to run to the store and buy toilet paper and panic, and everybody's going to freak out. And
It's always toilet paper because
Right.
Americans are full of shit.
it just blows my mind, man. It really does. It blows my mind that we just go on with our lives like nothing's going on. And now this time, 100%, we are the cause. We are the aggressor. We are the problem. And
That's
just
right.
paying my taxes. It's funny that you say April 15th because I'm still holding out on whether or not I want to pay my taxes this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Because
the hell
I do
would
not
you?
want my money. I do not want my money funding another bullet that's going to kill another human person,
Violates my religious code.
or unalive.
I
don't.
refuse to believe that other people can be, racist or whatever, and call it religion, and we can't not pay taxes because of our religion. Like, if you're going to use my money to go unalive people, you can go fuck
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, that's the double standard. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the fact that America is occupying the seat of the superior power. The U.S. dollar is the dominant currency. That does not give you
Yeah,
the green
Iran's got
light to
something for
take
that, though.
advantage. Yeah, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like, America took that for granted and started using that as a card to play whenever they feel like their currency or their power is contested. They're like, okay, let me
Yeah,
show
but
him the might. Let me show him how
the
might
rest of the
is.
world got past that, though. The rest
But
of the
what
world got
if
past that. Even Russia.
They had to.
Everybody
They
got past the
adapted.
sanctions. Right.
Yeah.
They invented Bitcoin. Bitcoin gets them past all of that.
The reason
You can't
Iran still
sanction
stands
Bitcoin.
today is because they adapted over the sanctions in 40 years of sanctions. They adapted by utilizing their geographical terrain to make it a defensive
Right.
thing, you know.
And it gives them leverage. It gives them
Yeah,
leverage.
leverage.
And
No,
I
because
remember
they're smart.
somebody was up on my panel. It's like nobody on Earth should be able to keep the world from getting its oil. I'm like, what? The United States engages in this crap all the time, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, when somebody else does exactly what we've been doing, and Israel has been doing to Palestine, for the record, now you got a problem. These people are, I wonder though, like, because what this is going to do is it's going to cause the GCC nations to all but crumble. If Iran targets their oil infrastructure, it's going to take years and years for them to get their stuff back. They put all their eggs in one basket. Saudi and UAE were trying to get away from it, but they started too late. So their oil was their thing. That's how they keep doing what they're doing. Once that goes away, now they're really fucked. They're really fucked.
Well, it's
And
not just
so-
oil. It's oil and the marriage to the dollar.
Well, yes, but what if all of this is the goal? Israel knew that the moment that the U.S. did this and started really attacking, that they were going to go after the GCC nations. What if all of this is part of this plan? Right?
No, I mean that's not possible. Only for the reason that Israel was normalizing relationships with the GCC. I mean, Israel was so close to making it.
But they're
okay.
deceivers. They
Yeah,
are
exactly.
deceivers. They even deceived Jesus Christ. So, I mean, just to
that's
throw that
why
out there.
It's only a matter of time. It's on the GCC right now today to realize who is looking out for their interest and who is not, and who is
But
like
will
they need
they?
to see the long game.
Will they? Will they
I don't think so.
lean on the United States and Israel to like save them in this time? Because they're really going to get screwed up here. And they're going to have to pull back. We're starting to see, I think it was France is starting to work deals with Iran. Other countries are starting to work deals with Iran. This could go one of many different ways, but
Iran did a very smart thing.
it was
Iran
the thing
said,
that they could do.
If you're not an ally, if you're not an ally of the United States, you can get your oil through the strait. And if you don't deal in dollars, you can get your oil through the strait. So basically, they put leverage right on the dollar right off the bat.
Yep. Well, and
Or
think
pressure
about
on the dollar.
it. Think about this. Netanyahu's been increasing and improving relations with India for a while now, and they're a major partner together. Israel and India, part of BRICS, and so there's growth to be had elsewhere. And the way that they've latched onto us, they can latch onto up and coming nations as well. Using surveillance, using all of the tools that they have at their disposal that they've been using against Palestinians for a long time now. A lot of that tech came from like Hebron and shit when they were surveilling everybody. So like, I don't know. I just worry that.
How can you trust that kind of an ally? Like if you were to
You would
trust this
think
kind
that.
of. Yeah, that's the
You would
thing.
think they'd
you
know by now, right? That like Modi would understand, like, bro, you're getting played.
It's insane. Like I can't wrap my head around the fact that they still blindly trust them the way I trust a pilot when I go into a commercial airline. I'm not gonna be like, if I am afraid of flying, I'm still gonna be like, okay, this pilot who I don't know is more than capable of flying this aircraft, and for this I blindly trust him to take me to my destination. This is the kind of blind trust and faith that America has to Israelis. Why though? Like they haven't proved any way, shape, or form that they're trustworthy. In fact, they proved
it's weird
the opposite.
because we know that some of them have been blackmailed, right? We know that that's true. Some of them are doing it for greed. Some of them probably are doing it for biblical reasons. But like, are some of them just like believing? I don't know. Any number of reasons could be why they fall for this shit over and over again. or they really could think that they are going to be the winners at the end of the day, and so they just want to side with the winners, so they're in the winner circle when it's all said and done.
Well, I believe that Israel believes it picks and chooses winners. I mean, we've seen that all through the E-Files.
Well, they even said it. One of the rabbis, like every nation on earth that has turned away from J people, they collapse in their own whatever. The fuck was that guy's name? Rabbi Chip. You may know the name of the guy. I can't remember his name.
Some shit like that.
He's the Hebron spokesperson.
Yishai Fisher.
Fisher. Yeah, yes. That guy is a tool bag.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, the condescension. He actually kind of reminds me of the way Elliot was talking on Hawk's show. I get that kind of similar, like, superiority complex.
Did you see him on that recent podcast with that young lady? He was talking about Nick Fuentes, and he was giving Nick Fuentes props, thinking that at some point Nick will eventually be studying Torah because he understands the historical dynamics. I mean, wow. He called Nick smart, basically, which Nick is, by the way, very smart and very well read, by the way. But Nick has some very harsh beliefs in a lot of different ways. But he called him a rabid anti-Semite. But he said eventually he could come around because of his intellect.
That's crazy. Maybe you convert so that you do what they do, which is get inside, lie, and then take it over and corrupt it. Maybe that's what you do.
Do you know how hard it is to convert to Judaism today?
Let's say I don't know. I haven't even looked into the process.
Bro, it's a difficult process. Like, they make it so difficult that there's tests, there's exams that you have to take. That's the reason they're such a minority, because they don't include anybody. They have to search you. They have to dig deep into your history, make sure that you are from a prominent family, you're rich, you have some sort of influence. If that's the case, please, you're more than welcome. But if you're just an average normal person, yeah, because if this is religion.
A religion of exclusivity is what it is. It kind of reminds me of Scientology almost.
Imagine
in its exclusion.
Christian. If I wanted to become Christian today and I saw one of these promoters who are like, find Jesus, like Jesus loves you, blah, blah, and I go and I start like, yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more. And he's like, wait, before I tell you more, show me your bank account. Let me see how much more. It's like this. Come on, man. How do you expect people to believe in your religion when you are this, I don't know. Compare it to Islam. Islam is the fastest growing religion today because we welcome anybody and everybody who is willing to come in and check it out. Please come in, check it out. At the end of the day, it's your decision. But we don't limit people like, oh, let me see, what color are you? You're black, you're white. Like, this is how they base their shit, man.
But what about women? You guys don't really see women as your equal.
As Muslims?
As Muslims.
No, we put them even women have more value than men in Islam. If
value,
you really know what
yes.
Islam is about.
Value, yes, but not power.
There's a difference of how you define power and how I define power as Muslim. That's the thing. For us, having more value as a woman and being more respected is power to them.
But they can't speak out against their husbands if their husband is doing something wrong to them.
No, they can.
To their iman in their religion, but not necessarily to the actual law.
No, by the Islamic law, a Muslim woman have the right to divorce a Muslim man if she doesn't like.
That's just as hard as becoming a Jew. That's hard.
I promise you, it's not.
That's
bro. I promise you, it's not. Funny. My mother,
but there is
that way.
Let's put it in this way: is there a different process for a woman that wants to divorce a man than there is for a man to divorce a woman?
Sure, the process is named differently, but each one has exactly the same opportunity and right.
Okay.
My cousin.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with that, so I can't really say. But
I mean, and I only have a broad understanding of Muslim because, like I said, I was around a lot of them for a period of years. My cellie was one. But yeah, so and this is why I asked you the questions I asked, because I know according to him, it was a lot different. You know, they
Let me
they
ask you a
protect.
question. Do you
Go
know
ahead.
what's the largest Muslim country in the world right now today?
The largest,
Yeah, the country with the largest Muslim population.
uh, Britain, maybe.
No, it's Indonesia.
In oh, really?
Indonesia.
Yeah,
Okay.
fact check me. It's Indonesia, man. It's
Oh,
in the Far
I'll look
East.
it up.
You think Indonesians have the same culture as Arabs in the Middle East? They don't. But they
No,
are still Muslims. And the way that they live their life, they live it based on Islam. Do
Yep.
you hear anything
230 to
about
240 million Muslims.
thank you, sir.
wow,
That's
With
roughly
that being said,
87% of its population. Yeah, I didn't know that.
have you ever heard
wow.
about racism, about religious differences in Indonesia, about Christians suffering in Indonesia or Jews suffering in Indonesia because Muslims are such a majority that they, abuse them,
J-Bug.
etc., etc.
J-Bug, yes. Go ahead and land your plane, Hassan. J-Bug's been
I'm
waiting for a
I'm
minute.
done.
And oh, okay.
Of course.
Yeah, J-Bug, go
Hey,
ahead.
how's it going, buddy? Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. What's up, man?
How are you?
24 from Indiana, Republican.
Okay. Yeah,
We're
I don't
staying with
ask those
Trump. We want
questions,
to be a
but
dictator. Okay, I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, you guys are liberals.
yeah.
Yo, Chip Burns, aren't you from Indiana? I think I've seen you before.
No,
I'm
So
not from
Oh
India.
no,
yeah, I mean,
where you from?
so did you
Host,
come
mute
up?
me for a minute.
Who?
Nah,
Dag, mute me.
I
real
got you.
Uh,
You're breaking up, J
Hassan,
Bug.
what?
You're breaking up, J Bug. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm lagging. Oh my god.
There you go. I can hear you now. You're good. What's up? And now he's got bars. Anyway, what's up, J Bug? All right then. Well, moving along. Chip, do you know this person? Seems like a weird insertion into the conversation.
Sorry, is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Go
Is
ahead.
it better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now I was speaking to Hassan. Hassan, marhaba. I speak the same language he does. I was just trying to engage with him as well with the conversation about Islam.
Oh, I see.
مرحبا
yeah.
حسن كيفك؟
حبيبي الحمد لله الله يسعدك بس please
من وين
let's
انت؟
keep أنا
Well,
من رام الله. Let's keep it in English for the rest of
والله
the
من رام
panel to
الله.
understand,
أنا من
please.
دردب وين؟
اهلا
أنا من
فيك
دردب
حبيبي الله
وين؟
يسعدك. But حبيبي
الله
please
يسعدك.
if you don't mind, please keep it in English because I've heard you
Yeah, I
speak
got
good
you. I got
English.
you.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
for
I
the
got
rest
you.
of the panel because it's a little
Yes, sir.
disrespectful.
Yes, sir. I was just trying to like say, so, our greeting, part of the culture, we greet each other in different certain ways.
For
Like
sure,
Assalamu
for sure.
alaikum. Yes, sir.
yeah,
But
fair enough. But yeah, I
but-
agree with this on English so we can engage in
Yeah, I
whatever.
My bad. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead, man.
But
You're
yeah,
good.
so I see you guys talking about liberals and about what's going on. I just wanted to engage and tell you guys more about why I support Trump. I'm a Republican. I will always be a Republican. Good.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Oh, because for what he did as an entrepreneur, I'm more of a mega supporter too. Like I've donated a lot of land for him for a potential cotton fields. Yeah,
So
That's very
I come
interesting.
from the
He's-
Daniels families.
I mean, well, just proof that he is a very good con man. He got you.
No,
And-
I mean
and
like
I'm
the rich
sorry,
stay rich,
you
the
know.
poor stay rich. Like I'm blessed. I'm already rich. I'm good. So like
Yeah. Well, I
We
mean,
are
he got
Republicans.
you,
We
and
are
that's
rich.
okay. You know, you
No,
may
I
not
got
feel
my
it
own. I
today,
got
but
myself.
at some point you'll be like, dang, he
J
got
Bug,
me.
host. Look, the fact that J Bug, you're a Palestinian.
I'm half Palestinian, نص دردواني and half American.
طيب. I'm also a Palestinian, but I also have an American citizenship. But I really am so
I was born
curious.
في مستشفى الرعاية. من ولد
طيب.
في مستشفى الرعاية.
طيب يا حبيبي, how the fuck are you supportive of what
Because
Trump
I'm a
is doing?
Republican. I'm half Palestinian. I didn't say I'm full Palestinian. Like I was born in Palestine, but then I pulled up here because my bird, she half German and half Irish.
So,
Okay,
Do you not
I'm
like
serious.
Palestinians?
No, I didn't say I don't like Palestinians. I'm half Palestinian. Why would I not like Palestine?
Well,
I just, I'm,
if you're still supporting Trump,
you're
and
voting for the
I can't
entity.
imagine that you would like Palestinians given what Trump is advocating for and helping Israel with. But who am I to
Exactly.
say?
well, that's something I don't agree with. But at the same time, he's like, when you say Israel, I don't look at it as Israel. I look at it Palestine, still Palestine land. Because like I don't identify as Israel in my terms.
See, this is a common thing between people on the right and people that are you know Muslim or Palestinian, but they still are on the right. They're kind of twisted because in one hand they don't like the Jews, but in the other hand they don't understand that the guy that's in America right now is doing more damage to your country and more damage to your people than any Jew has ever done.
It's not about the Jews, bro. Like, this is the thing. The Palestinians, more than anybody around the world, understands that it is not the true original Jewish religion that we have a problem with. It is the way that they used it and abused it and weaponized it to push this Israeli Zionist agenda. And if you go and live in the West Bank, you will understand this because there are so many cases where you will see flourishing relationships between Muslims and Jewish people that understand the fact that it is this Zionist entity that's trying to colonize and bring in the greater Israel project, bro. So it's never
Zion
the
does not
I
religion.
mean
agree.
Jew.
Okay, so
I agree. I
Zion,
have
you
like I can agree with you on some of that.
oh, go ahead. I think there's a
But
lag, J Bug. Go
like I
ahead.
said, I am half Palestinian.
Okay,
Okay, hold
so
on.
you say you support Donald Trump because he's a good businessman. Like he's doing to the United States what he did to casinos, which like it would have operated just fine all on its own, but when he gets involved, it starts to collapse. April 15th, mark my words. In the weeks after that, you're going to start seeing huge changes. We're in for it, man. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm like I
What's
feel
happening on
like you're
April 15th? What's the
trolling.
prediction?
Well, April 15th is when I
No,
believe the
no, no,
last
sir. I can show you
tanker
proof.
proof of proof of okay, I don't know what's going on with his communication device, but Mossad got him.
No, I'm listening. Like you're saying, no, you're saying proof of something. I'm not sure. Like I'm
No,
letting
no,
you
no.
finish.
Yeah, I was saying April 15th. You asked me what was April 15th. I was trying to explain it. April 15th is when the last tanker that came from the Middle East prior to the, closing of the strait reaches here. And so you're really going to start seeing some very negative consequences thereafter. Right now, they're
Yeah,
trying
so
to pretend like it's okay because, we still have those ships rolling through.
assets in the
Right,
region.
but
Right.
it's now
Well, let me
we may
explain
not
something to
suffer
you.
as hard as other countries that are more reliant on the oil coming from that region, right? We may fare a little better because we do have our own and we can switch some of those refineries around, although it takes some time to do that. April 15th, I don't know if you'll be singing the same tune about Trump. I don't
Well,
know.
no, listen. Like
Especially,
I did forget to mention something. If you guys go ahead and everyone click on my bio and read my bio, that's
tell
something
us,
I really take serious. What? I'm speaking.
tell
Can
us
I
what's
finish,
in your
brother?
Let me
bio
see.
because go
I'm going
ahead.
to read it. I can click on his thing
Yeah,
here.
I
Islamic
appreciate it.
Falahi Stand on Business, IRG Bug, W Hezeb Body Bags, W Iran Rebels. Okay.
Exactly.
So you're
Yep.
celebrating the unaliving of people? Is that?
No, it's like the Hizb, right? Those people, they've caused a lot of corruptions in the Middle East, more than what the Jews done, right?
Well, you
No,
said
And they're like,
W Hezeb Body Bags.
yeah,
uh-huh.
you're literally
That's
in your
celebrating.
bio. You
Yeah.
are supporting the resistance in a way where you are like Yes, please.
This
Bring
is
in
my
more body
opinion.
bags.
I can have my own opinion. I'm
You
still in America.
can,
I'm a Republican. Yes, this is a freedom of speech. This is my
but
opinion.
you're contradicting yourself, brother. If you're
So
supporting the
How?
resistance, then how come you support Trump at the same time? I don't get it.
I don't think he does
What are you
either.
talking about, dude? I
No,
voted
no,
for
no.
Trump.
He's saying Lebanese people being unalived is a good thing. That's what he's celebrating.
Yeah,
And I
like
think
the
that's
South Lebanon.
I think that's really just kind of gross and speaks to your moral character or lack thereof, sir.
No, I
Especially
am
the fact
Palestinian.
that
I'm
you are
half
a
Palestinian
Palestinian Fallahi. Like, how do you think the other Palestinians who shared the same blood and culture and religion
because
and
they're Shias.
language?
They're Shias. They're
I'm not a
Shias.
Shia. I'm Palestinian, Habibi. I'm
I'm not
Sunni.
talking about you. I'm talking about the South Lebanon
But
people.
you're generalizing. You're generalizing the
How am
people
I?
of that
No, this is
region.
my political opinion. Okay, this is my
Your
opinion.
political
How?
opinion is ignorant, brother,
No,
because
it's
it's
this is your.
generalizing.
How's that ignorant? How's that ignorant?
Because you're generalizing a group of people because of one act of one person who did one thing. You can't generalize that all Shia
Have you
are
not seen
wrong.
what the Shias done to the? Have you not seen what the Iranian done
Do you
to
know how many
Syrians?
Shias are there from the Islamic
Now,
population?
J Bug,
Well, listen, I got like a lot of stuff that I stand on too. Like, right?
are you Sunni, J Bug?
I'm a Salafi Wahhabi.
Okay.
That's
So do you hate Shia?
Oh yes, sir. I hate them more than I hate Jews.
I see.
you hate
Yeah, because
Sunni?
I just went ahead and went to your profile because I'm trying to figure out if you're trolling or not. Because
No,
like,
no. I promise you, I'm not trolling, sir. Like I said, I am from Indiana. I voted for Trump. I've also donated like a potential golf course and a potential cornfields for Donald Trump because we working on that too. We're going to
Yeah.
get that going.
well, Chip, I don't know if you're in a space that isn't too loud. Are you able to
Better.
speak? Because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Because I'm you know, I get a lot of deceptive Zios up here trolling and doing crazy shit and
Yeah,
pretending
I
to
am-
be
my
you're calling me Adonis?
vibe meter's going off with this guy. I don't think he's being genuine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why
I
is
just-
that, Chip?
Yeah, I just I don't know that's something. And look, if you're not trolling and or lying, like, you know, my apologies, but I just been doing this for a little bit now, and you know, all of the behavioral patterns that point that direction are pointing at you, sir. So I'm just gonna end it there because I'd rather speak to people who argue in good faith or have good faith comments. I mean, the first thing he said was, I don't know, trying to dox you or something. Chip, it was weird from the start. I don't know. How does everybody feel about me dropping this person? Because I don't like dropping people, but
No, you're good. That really like
Good with it.
yeah, you did the
Good
right
with it.
thing, man.
okay. Well, Rando, since you're new, welcome in. I don't know how much of what we've been talking about you heard, but you came in kind of at a weird time. What's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Hassan. Also, salam alaikum. Chip,
Walaikum
good
salam,
to see
Rando.
you.
Always a pleasure.
I don't know Dag, but good to see the chat. Yeah, I didn't hear much. I just heard enough to know that vibe meter was way off with that guy.
Yeah.
Like I talked to enough Zios to kind of spot those little subtle things. And it is one girl who comes around who likes to play. Well, I don't really know about the situation, but this is what and then she'll just soft insert like Zio talking points, but in a way that she doesn't have to face any accountability. Like it's all manipulation and games. They have a big PR budget for a reason.
Yeah, and they've been engaging in that for a while. Like they had admitted that they send out teams on social media in order to drive narratives. Like this is an open statement that they've made. This was even prior to them purchasing.
And
this app.
did you pay attention when he said that the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer, and that's just their problem. Me being rich, I'm blessed. I am proud of being rich, and I will be richer. Like this is the narcissism that we are fighting against.
And you know, now that you say that, actually, he almost put it in terms of like him offering this quote unquote golf course was a tithe to Trump. Like that's kind of way it comes across in the context of what he was saying. Chip, you were about to say something. Go ahead, man.
Well, I agree. When he was focused on the money, even if he's being genuine and his story is true, he obviously, I was going to ask him on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is money to you in your life? It sounds like it's a 12. And that's a dangerous person. That's a sickness in and of itself.
That's a person that can be bought. And the funny thing is, these millionaires, people that are just in that range, that millionaire range where they got, 5 or 10 million, those are going to be the people that get feasted on by the billionaires.
Oh, 100%.
This is how this works. You pay to the top. Okay. This is like almost like a mob thing. You know what I mean? This is how it's set up now. You pay upwards. Yep.
Now, if there is opposition that wants to counter some of this, because we could sit here and talk to ourselves all day. If somebody wants to rebut anything that's been said, you're welcome to join up. Just let me know in the comments. I'm trying to limit the number of people because it's hard to get to everybody when you got 8 people up here. So I'm just trying to, keep it lighter
If you
than normal.
ever needed room, you could drop me.
Yeah, I mean, no, I appreciate it. I just, if somebody was wanting to come up, because I do have requests, but I'm, again, trying to keep it down to just a few people. Chip and I was talking about that earlier, but anyway, Rando, what was the thing that prompted you to come up? Was it that guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna weigh in and say I've talked to enough of them to know that there's like, it's almost like they play these tropes. So they'll find like a very niche personality, and then they'll send somebody in. And when you really start to like dig down into their beliefs and their ideologies, that's where it all falls apart, because obviously they're not being honest.
It reminds me kind of what Jake Lang engages in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, dude, like, there's a video of him burning a Quran, cooking bacon over the fire he created with the Quran. The man is just weird. And then, like, going in and complaining about gay people while you got pictures of him over there, licking the wall, or doing whatever they do to the wall.
And bragging about his sister sucking the IDF.
Things like that, man. Things like that could be bad for your health. Let's just say that, man. You just don't do that to a Quran, man. Them guys, they hold that book very, very tightly. And I've seen some things people try to do to a book like that in on the inside. And let me tell you, it doesn't end well, man.
Yeah, pork
He
is
just
really
came
good.
back, you guys. So just so you're not talking about him behind his back, and I've been up and down on these panels forever, so he's here. Or I just saw him come back in the chat. So
Who's that?
ironically,
The
the person who was saying all that stuff that I don't want to repeat before the girl Rando came back up. He just
Are you
came
talking
back
about J-Bug?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's very
to
hard
him,
to run
if-
these panels and make money, you guys.
say that
He was
again.
just being disingenuous.
It's not easy to lead these TikTok panels saying that Americans are sick and tired of this oligarchy of putting tariffs on friendly countries, on starting another WA, like in all these foreign countries. Like Trump is bankrupting this country just like he did all his companies and profiting with backroom deals.
Absolutely.
And it's just incredibly sad for our military. That's my biggest point. Our young, brave men and women going to die for these billionaires like Elon Musk that did Doge. Like, who wants this?
What if it's all by design, though? What if this is all purposeful?
That's
Well, that's
That's
what they've
my
been
read
working
of
on, like with the right wing. Like, what's his name? The bald guy who used to be on AM radio. I can't even remember his name. Rush Limbaugh.
Rush, yeah.
Was preaching all that, and he had 80 billion radio stations that were paying him off. And this is what people here in Arkansas that have nothing.
yeah.
And
I
now
remember.
those people are crying.
I remember driving
Sorry.
a truck before XM Radio came out, and this was something Republicans actually were very successful in. They took over a lot of markets and drove their voters to take over local governments and state governments. But you couldn't drive anywhere in the United States without hearing Rush Limbaugh pretty much anywhere in the country, somewhere.
Going back.
I vividly
Going
remember
back.
those days too, liberal loudmouth.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then so whenever XM Radio came out and Air America was on there, it was like the heavens opened up and gave us an opportunity, and then it was purchased by Clearwater, who then came in and unalived that. Like they've been
Clear Channel,
or
right?
Clear Channel, yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Which is
Understand,
Stephanie Miller and Randy Rhodes, and they're still on
Oh
YouTube.
my God, Randy
making
Rhodes.
content.
I know, and but look, it's still hard. Like Sam Cedar, for example, like he should have more followers than
I
you know,
love.
currently does.
Listen, the Majority Report is huge on YouTube.
Yeah, he's I don't care for his co-host too much. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, because I know that his show before he had.
I'm hearing
a
it. You don't
co-host.
like Emma? You don't think Emma?
I don't. I just. It's not that I don't like her. It just. I don't know. She's
dry.
Yes.
She kind of stares a lot.
Yeah,
and doesn't
she's-
do a lot. She's not
Right.
good at the satire game.
No. You know, it's not like there's anything wrong with her or what she says. I don't know. I'd rather just listen to Sam if I'm being honest. Although he used to be funnier when he was on Air America than he is now. I don't even know how we got into this, but we can get back on topic if we want. But April 15th, Chip, isn't that the date when the last tanker is supposed to get here? And what does that look like moving forward for us? Like, what's the big change that's going to come after the last tanker gets here from the Middle East?
Well, yeah, for those who don't know, the oil tankers take a long time they travel very slowly, and especially the ones that have to go around the southern portion of Africa to get around the blockades of the Red Sea and stuff where the Houthis are. So the countries that are most affected by this, of course, makes sense. The ones that are heavily dependent upon oil imports. Remember that the way the Iranians are handling the strait, they're not completely blocking it. They're now requiring, and the insurance companies, this was the big issue because oil tankers carry, over $2 billion worth of cargo, so they have to be insured. And to lose one of those without insurance is unthinkable. So the insurance companies weren't going to provide insurance unless they had clarity from the Iranian government as to how this is going to be handled. So the Iranian government, sort of came up with this idea that they were going to create a fee structure, almost like a toll, that certain shipping companies would pay, but not all shipping companies would be permitted to use the Gulf because of their adversarial stance. So if you're either supporting a U.S. base, hosting a U.S. base, or working directly with the United States on the war effort, then any ships that are flagged or destined for your territory will not be allowed to pass, no matter what.
Because they're charging a toll, correct, Chip?
They're charging a toll to everybody now.
A
but they're
dollar a
charging
barrel, isn't it? Something like that.
It's pretty substantial. It's not nothing. So, and that's one of the pillars of the Iranian stance. Their negotiations. They want to maintain hegemony over that strait forever, and I don't blame them. But as far as the impact of the oil deliveries go, especially countries in Asia right now, like the Philippines and Thailand and Cambodia and all those countries that they don't produce anything themselves. They don't produce oil or natural gas. They're hugely vulnerable right now. And so for expats that are living there, I've seen videos where people say they can't get anything even for their scooter. There's just nothing you can get. And that's going to get way worse. But as you can see, oil is a global market. It's fungible in many ways, so that the price set by the trading system is global, not local. Now, countries can choose to sell their resources for below market, which they do in many cases. Russia sells a lot of oil to China below market value. But a lot of places are going to have to start bidding up to get oil because it's going to be difficult to get it, and that's going to raise prices even higher. So it's not going to be good for the global commerce. Now, it's pocketed. It's regional. So depending upon where things are interconnected, if you depend on a resource from a country where their cost of production goes up 600% because they're having to bid for energy, that's going to change your whole business model. It's going to ruin businesses. Some will benefit, some will get hurt badly. But overall, the aggregate impact as time goes by just gets worse and worse by the day.
Yeah. No, it's. Oh, go ahead, Dag.
I just had a question for Chip. Is it also true that I believe that the Iranians, that the ones that they do permit, the insurance companies do permit, they're going to have those contracts written in Chinese money?
Well, one of the provisions that the Iranians agreed to is if you're willing to purchase your oil in Chinese yuan, that they would permit your ship to go through rather than U.S. dollars. So that's another consideration that's in the mix.
That
But
kind
yeah,
of tax our money right off the bat.
well, not
And now, wait. I want to know if Chip, because Chip, everything Chip said is right. Have you guys heard about that silver has completely crashed in China? So even the people that work at like the Temu factories that we like to make fun of, they are rebelling not to go to work now. So like, it's just the cost of everything is not going to start. It's going to continue to skyrocket. Even if Dumpy goes down like tomorrow, everything's still going to keep going up on price for I don't know how long, which is the inflationary of this unfortunate.
Yeah,
For
it's
as
gonna,
long as it takes the billionaires to get their money back from COVID.
that's fun. Well, yeah, I mean, they've expanded their concentration of power during C-19. They did that, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
I
grab
forgot
things
about
up
that.
on a fire sale. You know, that's basically what the
Right.
boon is for.
Well, how much money was
every
Warren
recession?
Buffett sitting on?
God,
Warren
too
Buffett was
much.
sitting on $340 billion in cash or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, too much. This stuff has got to go. But like in terms of the like, because the U.S. is going to be impacted a lot less than Asia, for example. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Chip, but the last tankers going to Asia have already reached them. Right? That was in March. They got their remaining tankers. So what's happening to them is kind of a future view of what's going to happen to us after the 15th. So I think it's important people understand this because like for me, I am currently 9 hours away from my wife, and I will most likely be going there and taking my child, because if this happens, you're going to see shortages, possibly rationing, and I won't be able to make the trip because I may not have the gas to get there. And so these are things that people should be aware of. I don't know if it'll get to that point, Chip. Here, there'll be lines and stuff? What do you think the shortages will look like different than, for example, Asia? It's not going to be as bad, right? Because
I don't
we
see
do
the
have
United
our own
States going.
stuff.
I don't think the United States is going to go through rationing or shortages, but I think we're going to go through pretty high price increases. But there is going to be some rationing or even some shortages, especially in countries that import all their oil, Australia, all the Asian nations, Japan, for sure.
I mean, how many Dollar Trees have to start charging $5 for food that's barely even food? Unfortunately, the food deserts are going to keep growing in this country, which is just affecting the farmers and the fishermen that keep voting Republican.
Yeah, because fertilizer, that's another problem.
Yes.
The fertilizer that comes from there is a massive problem.
I mean,
not much you can do about it.
20% of the world's nitrogen, or the West's nitrogen, comes from the Strait of Hormuz. Comes through there.
Yeah, it's and that will take several months towards fall, winter, for us to really start to be impacted greatly by that.
Well, most farmers already bought theirs for this growing season, but next growing season is going to be the problem.
$2 billion a day. For what? Why are we still there? Like, who is really winning besides, as you guys say, the billionaires at this point?
Well, I mean, and like Chip was asking earlier, maybe this is the point. Maybe this was the outcome, the exact outcome that they wanted. And for what purpose, who knows?
The Heritage Foundation.
Yeah.
To get more money to be stupid and propagate baloney.
Well, I mean, because think about it, with chaos comes opportunity.
Exactly. Right. Just think of it this way. If people become so indebted to the system and are struggling so hard financially that they're looking for any way to get out from underwater, which is where a lot of people are slipping into, and it will accelerate, then they'd be much more amenable to a solution that involves something like a digitized currency. Hey, if you'll just convert your bank account to this, we'll match it with this. Or if you agree to do X, Y, or Z, we'll make sure you have a UBI or something like that. Then we'll all be buying into the digital framework that they want us in, so that they have unlimited surveillance and control over society. It gives them complete power.
And the crypto bros have
The
crashed
mark
out
of the beast.
so many times.
Somebody said earlier that Bitcoin will solve some of these problems. I wish. If you understand the float, the aggregate amount of units of currency within Bitcoin and or the US dollar or any of the other currencies, we're talking about apples and planets. These are the currencies, the fiat currency floats are gargantuan. I think the US is over $200 trillion that are out there in supply. Bitcoin has 10 billion. or no, 100 billion. So it's not even on the map in terms of the ability to cover commerce. Plus, the average true range of Bitcoin over the course of a month is 8 to 12%. No means of exchange can have that level of volatility and survive. It just can't be. So Bitcoin won't solve our financial problems. We're going to have to dismantle the central banking system in order to make changes.
Well,
I
what I meant
I
when I
agree.
did bring up Bitcoin, I was the one that brought it up. It's not that it's solving the problems, it's just how these countries are able to bypass the sanctions that the American dollar put on them. So they've been using Bitcoin as a bypass. That's how come we have these huge influxes and then it bottoms out so bad. Because these countries are using it to, North Korea uses it all the time.
I just do the
Bypass
commercial
American
real
sanctions.
quick before I drop Liberal Loudmouth. I'm gonna screen the commercial and then I'm gonna drop like voluntarily. Can I do that or no?
Sure.
Okay,
Like
guys.
a commercial for the show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, so if everyone could just please, if you don't have any money or coins right now, if you could just please tap anywhere on your phone on the screen. And then if you do have an advanced phone, there's a little thing on the right corner where you hit that. And then you can share with some of your other friends to come in here as our numbers go up and down. But thank you very much for having me on your panel. Guys, please be safe. And I really do appreciate you, Liberal Loudmouth, and everybody, single person on this panel for letting Americans that are just sick and tired of this shit for giving us a platform to speak. Thank you so much. You guys, everybody, please be safe. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Fit. I appreciate it. I call you Fit because calling you fat just feels bad.
I know, but see that was my line. Yeah, personal training was the only job I've ever really loved. That's why. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway. Okay, bye.
Yeah, man, take it easy. I appreciate it. And since he did a commercial, guys, if you want to support the live, outside of the gifting, I do have Crash App and Vimo information on my bio. And I wanted to give a shout out to Brianna from, I think it was Saturday, sent $20. So shout out to Brianna and thank you for that $20. I appreciate it. That was to my Vimo. Now, Holly.
Yes.
I appreciate you being up here. You haven't spoken yet. Did you want to jump in?
Yeah. I've been up here, but not in a while. Holly, 54 now. Kamala. I was wondering, it's about 2 weeks old, and I just happened to catch it last night. ABC did one of their, special reports where, based on that, the two, I call them kids because they were young, the two techers, the two tech guys that were inside of Doge, that were cutting 100 million in programs without any government or grant funding. And they were talking all about how what they would do is they would use Chat GPT, type in the words LGBTQ, DEI, Black, gay, and they relied on Chat GPT and these two kids that only have tech experience to slash $100 million from these programs. And when they were asked if they slashed the deficit or anything at all, they said no. It was disgusting. I guess they had to take the depositions offline for a while because one kid's last name was Kavanaugh and the other one was Fox. I don't know if anybody has heard about these two idiots, but they were having their lives threatened. But last night, ABC released it and was playing the report. If anybody wants to look at it and you want to throw up in your mouth, I recommend going to look at how stupid DT, Doge, and Elon were. They relied on Chat GPT to take $100 million in grants from people.
I mean, are we surprised? Yeah, but no.
They were allowed to use Chat GPT. That threw me off a bit. Not that these idiots were going after DEI or that they had no experience. They don't feel bad for what they did either. And one guy could not tell you what the letters DEI stood for, nor all he could say is the description was in Chat GPT. We were given an order. It was in Chat GPT. He could not tell you what those three letters stood for.
Right. I actually have that video either on my phone. It may be on my other computer, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I did a video about that, the Fox guy, because he was talking about it was some kind of history of, black people in America or whatever that they cut for DEI or whatever. His responses were just so disgusting.
Well, that's probably why they hired them, because they knew they do. I would love to know. I'm sorry, I lost my laptop cord. laptop cord or I would bring it up. I would love to know what their salaries were.
Right. You know what? They probably would have done that shit for free, those people.
Yeah, they were gross.
That smug fucking look on that dude's face, like, I
Which
don't know.
one? The one that couldn't explain DEI or the little 20-pound one?
The Fox guy. I think he was the one that couldn't explain the DEI. And if you guys haven't seen those videos, just do a search for it. I can't remember the other guy's name. What did you say it was?
Kavanaugh was his last name, I believe.
Was it? That's funny. Yeah.
Fox, let me look real quick.
Yeah, Fox is the other one. Just do like Fox deposition DEI or something. You'll like, it really is disgusting, but the incompetence to me isn't surprising. Kavanaugh, like spelled the same as Brett.
Yep, it's
shit. They're probably related.
Yeah, it's Nate Kavanaugh and Jake Fox, I believe.
Ugh. Yeah. Either way, I mean that's.
Sorry, Justin Fox and Nate Kavanaugh.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I can probably find that video on my TikTok and play it.
Yeah, somebody was asking. I cannot find my laptop cord anywhere.
Uh-oh.
I haven't even had it a whole month.
Unless they took it down. Because I did a video, I got a community guidelines violation for it. Tim Burkett, I believe was his name. He was up there saying, if you guys had seen what I seen it related to aliens, you'd stay up at night. Did you guys see that where he said that on, I believe it was Fox?
Is this the guy that thinks he can teleport?
No, I don't know about that, but he's a Republican from Tennessee, a representative. Burkett,
oh no, there's a guy in charge of FEMA, part of FEMA, that goes on and talks about how he has teleported from his home to like Waffle House, and how he thinks that he teleported like multiple times in life, and he named a restaurant, and this man still has his job.
That's funny. Here it is. Here's that video. Or at least, a part of it. Well, if I can turn the audio on, I don't know why it's muted, but here we go.
A documentary is, with ChatGPT's assessment here, that a documentary is DEI if it explores historical events that significantly impacted Black civil rights?
Yes.
Okay. Why would that be DEI?
It's focused on a singular race. It is not for the benefit of humankind. It is focused on a specific group or a specific race, here being Black.
Why?
That there's Justin. Oh, hold on. Let me fast forward to the rest of it.
You said it's not to the benefit of humankind, right?
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were bringing in a meritocracy, and yet we see these remedial white guys up there just being racist as fuck. Justin, are you remedial? Is that why you really do anything about people?
Hold on. I know I played more of it, but okay, so I think I clipped that one too much, because sometimes every now and then it'll go from allowing me to do a 10-minute video to only allowing me to do 3, so I think I had to chop that one extra, but that's the clip. Like, the guy was saying some really stupid shit as far as what Holly was talking about. Now, Chip, to get back to the topic about Iran and such, what do you think people can do to mitigate some of the problems, if there's anything that they can do that is going to come after April 15th? What do you think are like best practices?
Talking about with some of the changes that are going to be impact of what's happening?
Yeah.
Well, like anything else, I mean, and this is going to sound terribly self-serving, but I did this years ago, even before COVID, and this is not for everybody, but it is an option, is there are electric vehicles that you can get. I happen to buy an all-electric, which has its pros and cons. Right now it seems pretty smart, but back in the day when gas was, $2.50 and I can't drive more than 100 miles outside my area, everybody thought I was a jackass. Now that I can drive around town and it doesn't cost me anything, no oil changes, no fuel, because I charge it, believe it or not, for free at a local grocery store, I seem like a smart guy. But that's something people can look into. These cars always go up in value, unfortunately, when this kind of stuff happens because everybody wants one. But that's one thing you can do, or get a hybrid if you don't want to have the limitation of the limited range of an all electric. And there's some used ones out there that you can get for $10, $15, $20,000 or finance it, although rates are higher for used cars than they've ever been, and the market for used cars is more difficult. This is the problem when you have a late stage capital economy and you have the wealthy class squeezing every last drop out of the lemon, so to speak, is that it's very, very, very difficult for the average person who's not among the ownership class to play through the game, and it just gets harder and harder. But as far as other things go, I know that nobody wants to hear this either because we all like to indulge. Food is one of the few moments we get of a reprieve from all the nonsense, and it's good to have some food you enjoy. But there are ways to eat less expensively. I have a lot of this stocked up just in case things go to hell, which is rice and beans and other canned type of food that you can get. Is it great having that versus having a nice juicy steak? No, it's not as enjoyable, but it is a way to save a lot of money. And I think one thing we're going to learn in America, some of us have been outside the country and lived in more dire circumstances. I served in a war. I don't have a shower for 4 months. You don't eat any kind of food that you like. It's all prepackaged, freeze-dried stuff, MREs. But most people haven't been through, and this is not to denigrate anybody, people have different challenges, but most of us have never been through extended hardship. And so one of the things that I think we're going to have to find ways to do is to deal with some discomfort as we go through, especially if we're going to challenge the system, which I hope we'll eventually do, although I'm not optimistic we're going to do. But hopefully the anger level gets raised enough that people would be willing to forego some of our conveniences and luxuries so that we're willing to say, okay, you know what, I'll go 6 months without having A, B, or C because I like the idea of having D through F 2 years from now if we can get a better system. But that's where we are. And by the way, this is not to be a negative nanny. I don't think this is going to go well for America in the next 5 to 10 years. I think things are going to get exponentially worse, which is why I do believe they'll lead into a quote unquote solution, which will lead to a control system, which is the digital currency and what I call the dystopian nightmare with robotics and automation and AI. And in my view, just to put it out there, I think the number one thing we can be doing right now is opposing the data centers. And I use that word oppose to cover a variety of behavior, if you get my drift.
Well, Iran is opposing some of those in the area, as we've seen. Oracle got a taste of it. Amazon got a taste of it. And forgive me, but when I see one of them on fire, it gives me joy a little bit because I know what these people are doing with that, or at least their intent. And as you say, this surveillance state, this crazy shit that we're seeing, I don't know. We got to do something. And I don't think people realize, they want to call it conspiracy, but they literally wrote it out in documents, what they intend to do with these things. Like, I don't know how.
1984.
Yeah, well, that was a documentary that was brought to us by George Orwell. Apparently, we just realized it was a documentary. If you haven't read that, go read it. It's, kind of weird. And maybe he was really a time traveler. Like, geez. I remember at one point in my life, I was like, wow, the only thing missing here are the robot dogs. And then it wasn't a couple of years later, Boston Dynamics comes out with that fucking dog. That weird, creepy ass dog.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Yep, with no head.
Yep. And hell, they even used some of those dogs during C-19. Did you guys see that? They would send them into the homeless encampments. With
they use them in the military too for seeing mine protection and stuff like that, sniff out mines and stuff.
Thank you, Raw Raw. Shout out to Raw Raw. Raw Raw's going to go do Easter Bunny stuff. Good on you, Raw Raw. Have fun. Right. I didn't even realize it was Easter until after I went live. I think Hawk had mentioned it, but I didn't even catch on to it. Anyway, we got a new panelist here. Rubber Ducky, welcome in. What's up?
Well, hey, hello. Happy Easter. I hope you all having a great day. Great Sunday. I woke up to Donald Trump's heartwarming, ultra-Christian message to everybody on Easter.
What was
didn't
it?
realize he had flipped and became a Muslim overnight, but okay.
I read it earlier. Here, I'll put it up on the screen, Holly, if you hadn't seen it.
I haven't.
This dude is okay. I'll go ahead and read it, Rubber.
Yeah, I'll never be able to see that.
Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
This man is like...
Ain't that a pip?
Yeah, okay, then let me play the Jake Tapper clip because let's see if people actually notice real quick.
The Lindsey Graham thing too, with all the different hats saying "Free Cuba."
Let's see if they notice what's wrong with this. Here we go.
Graphic terms, giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language. Quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered.
Anyone notice what they left out there? And thanks to Chip.
Yeah, they didn't praise Allah like Trump did.
Right, they didn't read the praise be to Allah.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that Fox?
No, that's Jake Tapper. I think he's on CNN or MSNBC. I don't remember.
CNN. He's CNN.
Yeah, I don't keep track.
He's supposed to be one of the moderate guys on CNN. Like that's kind of his shtick.
They're all taken by Zionism.
Yeah.
Now, if we erase the cuss words and the absolute conversion to a new religion, the message in and of itself reeks of desperation. It's not a very presidential message. It reeks of desperation, and
it does.
He's basically saying, "I have lost because they won't open that strait, and I went over there and chose to go to war with them, and did not think this through." That's what he's announcing right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand too that, like, remember when he pulled all that BS because he didn't sit there and think through what could happen with tariffs and the fact that people weren't going to all deal with him and that there was going to be ramifications, and then he waffled and then he did it again and then he waffled and then people started to make deals behind our back. I'm not probably going to say this in the best way, but I was reading how Russia now is profiting really well because all of the sanctions on their oil has been lifted.
Yep. Billions.
So we're making billions for Russia now by going into Iran.
Well,
awesome.
The way I explained it, and it's very basic, but I'm like, okay, so I hang out at a bar. It's where all my friends are. And I've spent the last 6 months walking into that bar telling everybody to go F themselves, how disgusting they are, what, you guys always take advantage of me and blah, 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 and made them all hate me. And this weekend, I walked in there and said, hey, by the way, guys, I'm moving this weekend. Can I borrow your truck? Can you come help me move all my furniture? Yeah, what do you think some people are going to say to me, Come on.
I think it's even worse than that. I think it's, hey, that big guy at the end, I hit him the other day, and now he's going to whoop me. So can you guys please help me now?
Right, that's funny.
I mean,
now,
and they never set down their beer while they watch you take the beating of your life.
Right.
They don't care.
They don't even move.
I also love. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Holly.
When people, because I'm like an idiot and I'll go in MAGA panels by myself just because it amuses me. Sometimes I can drop a simple sentence and then listen to the whole panel fight with each other. It's kind of fun. But them trying to tell me that we were in there and we were helping the citizens and I have not seen the videos of all the people celebrating. I'm like, yeah, on day one, I just watched on the BBC this morning one of the saddest interviews of an elderly man in Iran where they hit an apartment complex and that how everybody on his side of the building is unalived, trapped, and the man was in absolute tears picking up pieces of rubble in a bag like things left of his whole life. So I'm not exactly sure how exactly us taking out the infrastructure. And I'm assuming, what was it, bridge, and what was the other day he said there?
Power plant and bridge day.
Yeah, so like, God forbid a child has a nebulizer or a ventilator, or an elderly person might need oxygen. Screw all that. We're just going to unalive them while we're helping the citizens.
Yeah, and it's collective punishment, and the people are the ones that are going to be harmed by it.
And the Iranian people get it both ways too, because they don't get it from they get shot down or unalived by their government, and then also getting bombed by us.
Yeah, and Ben Stone is right. He just announced a war crime. It's my understanding that attacking bridges like that is a international war crime. But since we created this, the U.S. has never abided by international law anyway. So. We've been.
When I hear
it's some humble pie is coming our way. Gotta say.
One of the funniest things I heard yesterday in a MAGA panel is that the reason we are spending all that money to build the ballroom is that's where we're going to be storing in a bunker all the computers for all the AI innovation.
Yeah, that is. It's weird that, and especially since he just lied about it. Claimed it was
Would you announce that to the world? Make the underneath so stupid.
Yeah. And do what? I thought I heard Dag. Were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I did too.
Maybe that was somebody in the background.
I muted myself. Yeah, it was my wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you weren't muted, just FYI. I thought I heard a female voice coming from your box, but
did that sound wrong?
Yeah, okay, it's muted.
I'm sorry. That just sounded funny to me.
You said it, not me.
My dad's a truck driver. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's funny. I take no offense to it.
Comes out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I take no offense. Now, so Chip, this is going to fuck up basically the entire world. Like, it's all going to be chaotic everywhere. I mean, really, in a large way. Even if Iran is letting some of them through, it's still going to affect everybody negatively. What do you think the move is that we need to watch out for from Israel to see whether or not they are intending to purposely use that chaos in order to take shit? Like Lebanon, for example. They're taking Lebanon right now as we're attacking Iran, and everybody's looking at Iran. They're just over there just taking land. So, what do you think is the thing they're going to try for, in your estimation?
Well, they're already doing it. They're already doing all the things that they want to do. They're using the United States to take on this particular adversary, and they're joining the air campaign. But they've already destroyed Gaza. They're going to be trying to redevelop that and move people into zones, which they've been doing. So they're occupying Gaza. They're letting the settlers run wild in the West Bank, with sometimes the military and the police looking the other way or helping. Terrorizing the population. It's just disgusting what's happening there. In Lebanon, the thing that's most egregious in my view is they're literally going into villages that they're able to, push out the resistance fighters, and they're just blowing everything up. It's the Dahia Doctrine, which they did back in 2006. Same thing. They're just going in there and just destroying villages so they make them uninhabitable so people have nowhere to go. There's over 1 million people from the south of Lebanon that have had to move to the north. And unfortunately, a lot of them are really struggling right now. The Lebanese economy has been through all sorts of hell, with their currency having been devalued and stuff, and inflation running high. Just everywhere these people go, there's chaos and suffering and disaster and death. And this is why I'm saying the mindset and the behavior, if those two things can change, not the world will never be perfect, but it will be a lot better. So I think the sooner the world comes together and we invade and occupy that country and get rid of that ideology and change the political framework in that area, the better the world will be.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed, and I've never advocated for war a day in my life. I wouldn't be opposed to going to war with Israel, because it just has to stop. This shit has to stop, and they're the ones doing it.
So while we are focused on Iran and all the mishigas that's going on over there, the Is Not Real country is in Lebanon, basically committing genocide there as well. They are southern Beirut. 1,400 people have been unalived. and people like short people, if you know what I mean, and medics, medical people. These are not military targets. They're going after civilians.
Oh, short people. Sorry, I got you. That took me a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, I try not to say that on TikTok.
Short people?
Like Sesame Street kind of people? Like people that would watch Sesame Street?
Elementary age people.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, it still took me a while.
Yeah, I was like, they're bothering little people?
Sorry, I'm used to speaking in TikTok code.
Aren't they also making like the ground they're like poisoning the ground and stuff like that, like 50 miles outside radius of
Yeah, what is it? The white something or other they're dropping over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't believe that.
Yeah, it's insane what they're doing.
Just say the
Phosphorus.
Well, I think we're like, even if we were to get out of the war right now, we're still fucked for at least several months, possibly several years. And so like it's coming one way or the other, but I don't know, these midterms, like, Chip, do you think the midterms will even matter, even if they go to Democrats? Or do you think it's already done?
Well, I don't even know if they're going to take place. I think one of the reasons why they want to escalate this war is to create a situation of, sort of a war footing, national emergency. If we have internal strife going on, which I think is certainly possible, they may declare a state of emergency and postpone the elections.
Yeah, I mean, if they did that, that would be totally unprecedented. But
we talked about that
this is
on
Trump,
on another live, and we kind of figured out that I don't think they can do that because it's state elections, not federal. So it would be up to the individual states to be able to do that. Am I right about that?
No, you are. And there's never been in history that's ever happened, even during the Civil War. It's not a thing, but this is Trump we're dealing with. And he's currently trying to force, states to do certain things, create a national voter database where they get to approve who can get a mail-in ballot. That's unprecedented. So,
all that Save Act repression crap.
Yeah, I mean, that's another arm to it. They're coming at it from every angle possible just to try and goose it enough to squeak out a win. Like, that's how I read it. Because if you can't get mail-in ballots, now you got to go to the polls. He's already said he's going to send agents to the polls to make sure it's right. And if they start rounding people up because they, don't look American, that's going to fuck up the numbers. It's going to fuck with the vote.
Well, the first step of all this was to sow doubt in the American people about the integrity of our elections, saying, 2020, they took it from me, yada, yada. And which there was no proof of that. Saying that there's fraud with the immigrants. There's less than 1% of fraud in any of our elections, not even enough to make a difference in the elections. It's all propaganda crap, And the MAGA are eating it up with a spoon.
I mean, they're engaging in just that behavior that riles up their base. And to me, it's based in racism, but, because it's the problems that we have are election, FRAUD for TikTok purposes, not voter. Right. And they don't do a whole lot for that. Well, and Joe Kent, for the record, also believed that Trump won. Because I was on somebody else's panel. They were arguing with me about Joe Kent not being a piece of crap. I just wanted to throw that out there in case people didn't know.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know. What is you? So, Chip, you think that he'll just say that we can't have one? Like, when it's up to the states would obviously disagree.
Well,
what
what
do
they'll
you
do
think?
is they'll just declare the results or not. They won't accept the results. They just won't let them be implemented. There'll be no transition of power. They
You
can still
think
hold the elections,
he'd
but
be
they're
that
not going to
overt?
recognize it. Well, they just will. They'll just make the claim. They'll make the argument that it's not in the best interest of the country's national security to have the transition of power at this moment, and they'll just try to get by on that argument.
Man, that would be wild.
Have we ever done that?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
Would that be the
And
point where we pick up the pitchforks and the torches and we start walking towards DC? Or is that how that would work?
Like the
I mean, you would
Salem
have
witch
to.
trials. We'll go like
Yeah,
it's the Salem witch trials.
you would have to at that point, because what's the other option? You know, I don't know what else to say about it, because what is your other option? There's no other option. But it's not an impossibility with this guy.
Well, not to jump around too much, but talking about the Iran in the Strait and all that, the one thing that gets overlooked that I am so concerned about is the plight of the American farmers in all this, with the fertilizer not showing up, and they were already in such dire straits anyway. And this is just one more nail in the coffin. So I really am worried about, well, the business that the farmers have, having a farm, but also the American food supply shortages that's going to ensue from all this.
Yeah, I mean, and people will be, at that point, people will be so in need of food and other things that would they have the time or energy to grab pitchforks and go? Or are we just, as Americans, so complacent now? We aren't the people tossing tea off a ship, you know? There's a possibility that people would just, I'm just going to scroll on TikTok now. You know,
Well, I'll tell you, I've been poor and
there?
homeless before, and it makes you a very desperate person, you know?
Yeah, Disney says wait until they enact the draft. Chip, do you think that he'll do that? Start drafting?
Yep.
If the ground conflict begins, which I think it will, and it goes as poorly as I think it will, and I think that's likely, then I think it's likely there'll be a draft.
I have 3 military-age sons. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's when you you know,
It's like who would I rather have them go against? Is my question. You know, that's my thinking on that. It's crazy.
yeah, send your own kid first. Have Barron suit up.
Right.
Put Barron out there. Does JD have military age kids? I don't know. Send his fucking kids. Somebody said that they were going to draft legislation to draft Lindsey Graham. Did you guys see that? That's funny. I mean, because they already increased the age of acceptance to 42 in the Army, which is pretty wild. You know, as somebody that age, I don't, you know, I guess maybe somebody that's really fit and doesn't have problems, but got it at that age, you know, going into battle, that would be wild. But you know, people are going to refuse. And then you're going to have to round up what, millions? It's just, you know, people are just not going to go.
I just looked it up. Vance has got 3 kids and expecting another one, but they're like 8, 4, and they're young.
Yeah, JD Vance.
Just something to share with those who may get called up, or even those who are currently enlisted or serving. You can. This is very important, by the way. You can claim conscientious objector status, but you cannot say it's because of a particular conflict. You have to say it's a general applicable standard to your opposition to conflict in general. And then they cannot deploy you, and they cannot punish you for that. But if you say I'm not going to this war for that country, then that's not conscientious objector status according to the law.
Tell them it's based on your religion. That'll really put it home, too.
Yep.
I'm like the baker with the cake. It's against my religion. They're the ones, you know, I mean, thou shalt not murder. So all Christians should easily be able to say it's a religious problem or whatever. This is so fucking ridiculous. I'm so sick of this crap, and I don't know if people are mad enough. I look around, I just don't see it. I just don't see the actual concern that people need to have these days. They're too busy on here doing drama shit on TikTok and fucking with other people trying to get rid of this shit. They engage in that behavior. I don't know if people are taking it seriously enough. What do you guys think?
Did you read the comments after that post?
Are you talking about the praise be to Allah post?
Yep.
Well,
read some of the Johnny. I was listening to Johnny Palmodessa's live this morning, and he was talking about this, and he was reading the comments, and they're pissed, and it's not our side. It's their side. It's MAGA. Because of all days to do a stupid post like that on today, they're pissed. I voted for you and now I'm regretting you. I'm not supporting you now. I mean, they're pissed. I don't know if it's a pissed for today only kind of pissed, but yeah, they're pissed.
The swear jar. I'm going through the comments of that, by the way. I think a lot of these are bots because you see a lot of these same stupid memes getting put up there.
Johnny, it was earlier, but I mean,
look at this. Look at this shit. What is is this? They're really trying to push this notion that he's some messianic figure.
These may be more recent posts, but when it first came out, 5:00 in the morning, you had people that were getting ready for church and they were going to church and they were just, they were not kind to their orange master. They were not.
Why do you think he said praise Allah? He just did it just because he thought he could say something.
He's trolling it. He's trolling.
Gotcha. But he made it sound like he was supporting.
He's trolling. Here's the thing. In the Quran, they recognize Jesus, but Jesus is more in the role of a saint. He's not in the Christian where he's the son of God. They view Jesus. They recognize Jesus as more of a saint or an apostle or, he is recognized in the Book of Islam, but he's just not in the role that we put him into the role. So, but that little one-liner praise, that's definitely trolling Israel. Because I know for a fact that somebody has told him about those Lego.
Yes.
The Lego videos are awesome.
If you're going to troll me, I'm going to troll you. And he's using their religion. He's trolling them in a way that I wouldn't troll.
Not as the leader of the free world with the nuclear codes.
Right. He's really sucking at trolling. You really suck at it, dude.
Who, Trump? I mean, he's a pretty good troll. In many ways, he's a decent troll, but he's the fucking president. That's not something to boast about as the president.
Well, it's like we said, nothing like, advertising you're going to do war crimes before you do war crimes. I don't know what else to tell you, dude. You just said that you were going to do war crimes on Tuesday, so you're just telling us what you're going to do now? You're just telling us that you're going to commit crimes?
Or tell Iran to be prepared for Tuesday?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nobody's, what are people going to do about it?
Nothing.
The United States has been violating international law, violating human rights for a very long time now. And, Trump is just telling you he's going to do the things that we've been doing for a while. It's a systemic problem and we've got to fix it. Hopefully after this, we can.
I don't know. Let's stay out of everybody's business.
Well, I mean, that's a start, but we also have internal problems that we need to address. Absolutely. Fake liberalism is a good one. Fake people who claim that they're liberals use N-word in private and, this kind of shit and go around and like be harmful to that which is progress for their own means. This exists in both sides, and we've got to be willing to recognize that shit and push it out, right? That's why I just blocked somebody, in fact, from the live because of that kind of behavior. I'm tired of it, and people need to fucking start taking a stand against that shit. Because otherwise, I mean, I guess we deserve what we're about to get.
Yeah.
Sadly, I mean, but hey, look, I've been poor my whole fucking life. I just want a few of them to suffer even just a little bit of what some Americans and people around the world have suffered at the hands of these scumbuckets. Just a few of them.
When I was waiting to come up, the beginning of the end, what can you do? Go, like, make a day and go to farmers markets. Go to fruit stands. Go to vegetable stands. I have them numerous in where I live. And if you live in a county where it's predominantly, there's no farming, then drive to the next county over if there's farms and stuff. Use your resources. We didn't have this a long time ago, dudes. People lived off the land and they did just fine.
Right. We certainly don't need all the extra. That's for sure. But you become accustomed to it, especially, culturally, like air conditioning, for example. Like, we've gotten so accustomed to air conditioning, people will unalive without it. Whereas prior to air conditioning, you could live in the same, in that same temperature range and be okay generally. Yeah. But we're really spoiled and I don't know, some humble pie, I guess, is coming around. Now, some 13 Fox, I did accept your request, but you are just buffering. So if you're wanting back up, you're welcome to come back up. I'm going to bring in one person to replace Holly, who had to go do a FaceTime call. Why lie? What's up, man? Or woman?
Not much. How you doing, liberal?
I'm okay. Yeah. Did you want to jump in? What caused you to come up here, and what would you like to say?
Actually, I wanted to inquire to see if you've heard today's True Social post from our president on Easter.
We just read that. Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm going through. These are the comments underneath that post. You talking about Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, or yeah? Praise be to Allah.
How you smack Christians right in the face like that on Easter, and they won't even speak out against it, except on his True Social, which is a good thing. At least he'll see that.
And then, I assume you didn't see when we played Jake Tapper was reading it. He said fucking, right? He said the curse word, but he left out the praise be to Allah part.
Yeah, you shouldn't have left that out, man. That's a crucial part of the tweet.
Right.
And you know why he did that? He's too stupid. Our president is too stupid to realize Islam and Muslims are different things.
So somebody in the comments said, wait, what? Sorry, just woke up. Hexy Witch. Since you are unaware, let me go ahead and pull this back up. I'll just read it. This is a Trump tweet or truth from today, this morning, 7:03 a.m. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. That's the post. That is the President of the United States. What the fuck? What do you say to that? What can you say to that other than what the fuck? I don't know. It's a little comical. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, like you're talking about harming the people of Iran who have done fuck all to us, and I think it's gross. Anybody advocating for that shit, I'm not even a Christian, and like I know that that's wrong. That is a universal standard, I would imagine. Now, Jay, what's up, man? I'd seen you had been requesting for a minute. What's going on? What did you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to say, this guy voted for Trump. Honestly, I find that this is where I am finding it hard to support Trump, because he clearly said no new wars, right? And he said that his main, like his base for his campaign was immigration enforcement, and lower gasoline prices, and cost of food, housing. He said he was going to bring all that down. Now he's sitting here, and he used to say we take care of everybody, blah blah blah. Now he's sitting there and saying we can't pay for anything because we got to pay for war.
Right.
Dude, I'm done with Trump, man. Fuck Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump in 2026. I'm not going to even vote for any of these clowns, Marco Rubio or any of these fuckers. I might vote for Tucker Carlson if he ran, but I ain't voting for these guys in the administration sitting there and just like not standing up to Trump, because I think Trump's probably senile now, and I think that somebody needs to take him out. Like, I mean, I don't think he's all there. Like, look at his tweets, like you said this morning, right? It just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, Jay, can I throw something you just said real quick before, or I'll forget? Not to cut you off and be rude, but
go ahead.
You need a notepad.
You said you would vote for Tucker Carlson. I want to point out to you that two of the most detrimental mistakes that the American voter has ever made was voting in Ronald Reagan, which was an actor, and voting in Donald Trump, which was a TV reality personality. A reality TV personality. Putting actors into office is the dumbest thing you could possibly do for this country.
Yeah, but
Tucker realize that.
Yeah, but Tucker is a knowledgeable journalist. I mean, this guy's been analyzing foreign policy the last 20 years. I mean, who do you want to put?
Do you consider Hegseth a successful military leader? He's from Fox News, keep in mind. Hegseth was on Fox News.
Yeah, but Tucker is standing up to Trump, isn't he? Joe Kent, all those guys, they're standing up to Trump. Joe Kent just resigned. Tucker is literally
standing up to Trump does not qualify you to lead the country, sir.
I agree, but then, I mean, true MAGA means investing in the United States, right? True MAGA is, not fucking up our own people for some bullshit goal that we're not getting. We're worse off now than we were in the Middle East, right? We're worse off now. Now we're stuck. Like, either we win this war or we're toast. We gotta leave if we don't win this war. And the whole fact that Trump would put us in this position after campaigning for no new wars, it just blows my mind that Trump thinks that this is acceptable. I hope he loses 2026. I hope they impeach his ass. I hope they convict him in the Senate. I hope he's kicked out, disgraced and kicked out.
And you did vote for him in 24? You did vote for him?
Yeah, I voted for him in 24. I voted for him in 2020. I voted for him in 2016. Three times.
But so the war itself was like your line in the sand, I guess.
Well, it started. No, it was the E-files and the war. The files kind of pissed me off, like the cover up and all this fucking bullshit that Trump said it was a Democrat hoax and all that shit. Man, that's just gaslighting to the extreme, right? That because I used to listen to people like Bongino and this other guy, Kash Patel and all those guys, and they were always saying, "Oh, the Epstein files, we got so much shit up there," and now they're in power and they're like, "Fuck you guys." Well, I hope Trump gets impeached. I hope he gets thrown in jail after he gets impeached. That way, I hope he's a disgraced president, and I hope fucking he's thrown in jail. If this country is going to shit, Trump is going to jail. I promise you on that. There ain't no middle ground. Trump is going to jail.
Sadly, he's Teflon Don for a reason. He's a slithery guy. I'm not sure that there'll be justice for the things that he's done and the ramifications of his decisions. You know what I mean? But like, I take your point. I don't disagree with you, but like, we're kind of fucked. Would you agree at this point? Like, because there's nothing to win in Iran. Let's be honest. What are you winning? Right? What is it? We can't hold their country, right? We can't go in, invade, and like take over their entire country. That's not going to happen. It's massive. There's 100 million people that live in Iran. Like, so what?
So the problem is that we have all these Gulf states, right? We have these Gulf states, okay? If you look at the economics of it, right? The Gulf states made a deal with America. We said, hey, we protect your asses if you guys will, trade oil in U.S. dollars, which is the first one. And then in the 90s, we made a deal where they would take all their profits from selling oil and pump it back into our stock market, right? They would buy equities and bonds, right? Treasury bonds and equities. So all these Gulf states take their wealth funds, sovereign wealth funds, and invest it back in the U.S. stock market, right? So this is basically a system that we designed and we were running successfully. Now he comes up, he blows it all up, and now if we lose this war, we lose that. The Gulf states will not be transactioning in U.S. dollars. They will not be investing all their sovereign wealth fund profits back into the U.S. stock market. They might be forced to invest it in the Chinese stock market because that's the person who's buying their oil. We're not buying their oil. The only reason they do that is because we secure we provide security for them. Right now, we can't.
And that's not working out so well anymore. Like, they're getting destroyed by Iran.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to kick us out, and we're going to have massive unemployment in the U.S. when our stock market crashes, because and then we're going to have massive inflation. We're going to have an AI apocalypse, and we're going to have more unemployment, high unemployment, and we will have high growth with no job creation because of AI and automation. And on top of that, you have high inflation because of all this, energy prices hitting, going over $120 a barrel in oil and natural gas. And where's that going to take us? Like, where are we better off then? Dude, like Trump, you literally campaigned on lower gas prices, lower home prices, and you campaigned on egg prices and no new wars. That's fucking Trump. I don't know how compromised this motherfucker is. Like, what's in those files that he goes 180? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. And after he, dropped Bondi, he said he wasn't going to release any more e-files. We've moved on, he said. But let me ask you, what do you think Israel's role is with Trump's decision? Like, are you kind of with Tucker as far as like Israel being a serious issue for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Tucker on that, but also I also am not going to give a pass to Trump, right? Trump is not the president of Israel, right? He's the president of the United States. I mean, he should stand up. Like, I'm pretty sure the Israelis probably came to Biden and Obama and Bush, and Bush and
they said not just no, but fucking hell no.
Exactly, they said hell no for a reason, right? And Trump could have said hell no. What are the Israelis going to do? Worst case, okay? This guy.
Oh, did you get a phone call?
Yeah, I got a phone call. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say is like all these presidents said no, and this guy is sitting there like, basically 180 on his campaign. Like, you look at Trump's campaign and you look at Trump as second term as president, it's just like, is it the same guy? Like, this guy, you have Marco Rubio posting on Truth Social or whatever on X saying that, Iran should stop spending money on weapons and spend money on their population. Their defense budget is $10 billion. Ours is $1 trillion. Like, hey, Marco, why don't you take that tweet and send it to Donald J. Trump, your president, right? That's what he campaigned on. This shit was like, Trump was the peace president. He was going to get the peace prize and all that bullshit. and now he's sitting there saying we need to go to war, and I'm going to do this and that. I don't
And
know.
now it's 1.5 trillion
Yeah,
for the
I mean that.
military. Like,
I don't think
what
it's
the
sustainable.
fuck?
I don't think it's sustainable. Bond
Yeah,
markets,
crazy.
the bond market's hitting like all-time highs in the bond market. Is almost 4.4% in the bond market. If the bond market hits 5%, because that's how we get our interest rates, right, on cars and houses. We get it through the bond market, not through the Fed. The Fed lowers interest rates, but the Fed funds rate is not what gives our loans, right? It's the debt that the bond market gives us our debt.
Fuck the stock market. That's like a
Yeah,
casino for rich people. You know what the stock market does. I've never been concerned about that. You know,
Here's a
I don't
question for Jay. So, hypothetically, Trump gets impeached and removed. Highly doubt it. So you think JD Vance is any better?
I mean, look,
I think he could be 10 times worse because he's not going to say, "Oh, well, guess what? We're just going to break ties with Israel. We're just going to get out the, they're not. No.
Well, the technologarchs are going to benefit from Vance, and I think they hedged here. I think they think they'll win on either side, no matter how bad Trump gets. They still got their guy in there, and I don't know to what degree these tech bros are aligned with Israel or just using them for their own means. I don't know what the control looks like there, but.
And then there's the Heritage Foundation that's still lurking behind the scenes.
Right. But they've been around for a while.
Right.
I think that was merely a vehicle for other people to use, like talking points, what have you. But I don't know. We're kind of in it, aren't
because
we?
that's what I'm saying. I mean, okay, yeah. So we impeach Trump. Oh, great. We remove him. No. I mean, at this point in time, the whole goddamn administration needs to fucking go.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we have to start the fuck over, we have to start the fuck over.
Right. I don't disagree with you there. Yeah.
At this point in time, what's going to hurt?
Yeah, because JD Vance for me is dangerous in his own right because he's going to engage in the same stuff, I think, largely, but he's going to do it with a smile and with kind words. He's not going to spotlight the problems that we've had in our country for a while, because a lot of what Trump is doing, we've been doing for a long time in this, in this country. It's just so blatant and overt that you can't ignore it. Whereas before it's like, oh, we're bringing democracy. Oh, we're going to get them over there so they won't get them over here. And Donald Trump's like, that we're just going to unalive them all. But it's the same outcome. It's the same method. It's just different rhetoric, So with Vance, it'll calm people down because he's not so out there, but he's going to do the same shit. Yeah. I believe that he will.
It's the same shit, different tone.
Now, Captain, you said something interesting in the comments. You said they are one and the same. I think you were referring to the technologarchs, as it were, in Israel. Do you want to expand on what you meant? And welcome aboard. Oh, I can't hear you. It's real garbled. Sounds like you put your phone in the toilet and are trying to yell into the bowl. Yeah, I tell you what, drop and come back. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. As soon as I say go ahead.
Think of it like,
there we go. Okay, you're back. I can hear you.
Okay, being complicit, you haven't, so you see the United States being in a situation where our country could go through a worse situation than the Great Depression. Well, that's actually fucking great for people in the Heritage Foundation. That's fantastic, because Trump has told us his favorite time in American history is the Gilded Age. The Gilded Age is when 92% of the United States lived in abject poverty. More children were employed in the United States than adults. Yet it was a beautiful time to be rich, because it meant you weren't just rich, it meant nobody could do anything to stop you. That's what they're trying to bring back. The church is complicit because when things go to pot, that's where everyone goes for help, for refuge. And then the country as a whole being broken, that benefits outside interests because they get to absorb that wealth and they get to absorb that power, like Smithsville, because the Greater Smithsville Project is them controlling the entirety of the Levant and what? Defeating Rome, defeating
including,
Empire,
I think,
Rome.
including, I think, controlling the
Control our guidance systems.
GCC nations as well. Would you agree?
Exactly. That is the entirety of the Levant, including Ukraine, which was strangely already in play before all this already happened. It's a setup, a massive one. It gives them the New World Order control of all international shipping and commerce. And all they have to do is knock the United States off the top. Once they do that, everything else falls into line because everything that has happened as far as human history stumbling forward for the last 200 years, all started in the United States first. Workers' rights revolution started here first. Modern medicine started in the United States first. Because we are a melting pot. Because we do have so many ideas and so much that happens here that it just spreads to the rest of the world. So if they can knock America down, no one will ever go against the New World Order.
Yeah. Now, Chip, I think you and Captain probably might share a lot of interest, at least, when you guys start talking about the stuff, because Captain, you talk about the mosque all the time, the Temple Mount or something. Can you expand on that? Because I've been hearing that lately. So is it, and this is my understanding, if it gets destroyed, that will cause an uprising around the globe of Muslims? Is that what you're talking about when you bring that up?
You ever notice when you watch Independence Day or any of those other end of the world movies that you never ever see there being Muslim holy sites destroyed? You see, the Vatican destroyed, you see all this other stuff, but never Muslim sites. Because it's sacrilege. You can't do it, not even to make it make-believe. So, actually destroying the third holiest site in all of Islam, oh yeah, it would be bad. It would be a human 9/11. Because the wrath that would come for that.
Now, when you say bad, and wrath, you're talking about people around the globe independently being so outraged that they start engaging in some type of behavior, no matter where they are. Is that what you're referring to?
I would not be surprised if entire mosques globally were we have got to get revenge because this was so offensive. Because they're not going to be ashamed of it. Europe and Asia will unilaterally turn their backs on the United States. Right now, Smithsville is in control of our guidance systems through a company called KELA. Kela. They control our guidance systems. That little boom that the United States keeps getting hit over the head with about, the tomahawk that hit that girls' school, the command to target that girls' school came out of Tel Aviv, not the United States. Because they control our guidance systems through a subsidiary of Palantir.
So you're thinking that they could basically hijack something and destroy it and then claim it was the United States.
Oopsies.
When in fact it was,
Oopsies, it was our tomahawk after all.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Chip, what is your thought on that happening? What she's saying. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all part of this prophecy we talked about earlier about Meshach and the third temple and the heifer. It's not everybody who's from the tribe is into all this, but those who are serious about it are. That guy Yisrael Fisher we talked about, when he was talking about Nick Fuentes, he was talking about Nick's description of this, having understood the mission of this movement. and what they're planning to do with the bringing of the third temple. So part of that requires them. They're tunneling underneath of the Al-Aqsa Mosque right now. That's indisputable. The plan is to gut it out from underneath and destroy it, and then build the third temple on its site. And they're going to try to do that. There's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. And I agree, it's going to cause all sorts of havoc to break out. Probably governments will be overthrown and mass chaos and riots and strife. This is what they want. This is what their prophecy calls for: is this massive outbreak of war in the region, from which will spring this next stage of the second coming. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. It seems absurd, but this is what these people believe.
Right. As an atheist, it is absurd, but I will say, like, even churches to me, Christian church, even if it's, dilapidated, attacking one is absolutely just out of line. You know what I mean? Like that seems ridiculous. Even in war. Like,
I mean, I don't.
It's totally irrelevant.
So use the term atheist, meaning that you have no belief in a deity. I call myself confused because I have no idea what is or is not true. That's what I call it.
Right. Well, so that'd be like, agnostic or whatever. Like, I don't know, and I'm just, to me. Okay, I'll put it this way. This is kind of my framework of belief. If being a good person doesn't get me to quote unquote heaven, probably didn't want to be there in the first place. I don't like those people. Right.
That's a fair point. Yeah. I think that some of the principles that are mentioned in all the common threads of, sort of kindness and love and helping the less fortunate, the principles that are taught, I think those are great. And some of the rules, as far as the commandments go, they make a lot of sense. No one likes to have somebody running out behind their back and lying to people and cheating and unaliving and stealing. Those are all good principles. But as far as the organized nature, I think it's a control mechanism.
Right. Yeah. It does seem odd to me that, like, you can be a great human your whole life and do all these works, but because you didn't get baptized or believe or, whatever the fucking strictures are for that, like, you're going to hell.
Conversely, you can be a
psychopathic to me,
Yeah, you can be a rich accumulator who believes in Jesus and go to heaven even though you didn't do anything to help anybody your whole life.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I'll focus on doing good in the way that I feel is true and righteous. Outside of, I remember this old guy when I had sued the school over that book. I remember this old guy. He was a Republican. The fucking look of shock on this man's face when he learned that I was an atheist that didn't want my kid looking at, penises and boobies and cum shots in books in the library. And he's like, I don't understand. How can you be an atheist and be against that? Like, it just as serious as could be. And I'm like, you're like 90 years old when you learned that you can have a moral compass and not be religious? The fuck? It was weird.
As a matter of fact, being religious is not conducive actually with having quote unquote a moral compass, because it gives you the out that you're born inherently flawed,
that's right,
inherently with original sin, which is really, really funny because I have a degree in Abrahamic studies. Did you know that Jeshua did not unalive for our sins? Because Jeshua was a JEW in a time where JEWs didn't believe in the concept of, original sin. There was literally it never existed before. It didn't even exist for like a couple hundred years after he unalived. There was no idea of there being an original sin or there being that you're born inherently evil. No. He believed and taught that the light of the Father was in you. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That we're supposed to let our goodness shine. Instead of having an institution, an organization that is responsible for what? Our repentance, our redeeming ourselves before the afterlife, and thus giving all of our autonomy and our rights over to an institution, a religious organization, to help us go to heaven. And then we can never say no because you want to go to heaven, right? Original sin is a fake concept.
Now, Bab, you said they're into dispensationalism. That's where you basically like pay or tithe or whatever to get forgiven. Is that what that is? I've seen the word before. It's
The
been a while,
foundation of
like
Judaism,
Martin
basically.
Luther type shit, where they, because they were like, what was it called when they would pay the Catholic Church to
Sin eaters.
What is it?
Sin eaters.
Well,
Sin eaters.
there's another word for it.
Dispensationalism. Sin eaters.
Well, hey, somebody's getting a house built, so I guess there's some.
Transdispensationalism. It was a transdispensationalism. That's what was transaction. If you more money you donated, the more sin you could have removed.
Here, I'm gonna look it up now because it's gonna bother me if I don't. That said, Carson is new on the panel. Welcome in, Carson. Good to see you again. Were you the one building the house?
That was me. Working on my truck.
Okay.
Working on my truck, dude.
Well, Carson, go ahead, and then Wayne, you'll be next.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, sorry, hold on. I know exactly what you're talking about, liberal. So if you want to look that up, because I can't remember the word either, but I do remember learning about that in school. And then the thing about the Al-Aqsa Mosque, maybe Chip can answer this. I don't know if anyone has heard this, but I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that the United States military was like making missiles that replicate like the IRGCs, like making them like mock IRGC missiles. So I think that maybe if they did take out the mosque, that they would use one of these missiles and blame it on Iran.
Right, which would make no sense for Iran.
Does anyone?
Oh, no. Okay. I want to make my point really, really clear. I want to make my point abundantly clear. There's no benefit to Israel saying that it was Iran, because they don't want Iran to be completely defeated. They want them to be a little diminished, because they want someone who's a partner who's not stronger than them. Because if you're the Greatest Israel Project, it literally includes none of Iran. Because historically, for over 1,500 years, they got good business. The word JEW, that term comes from Iran. It was a title bestowed to them by King Cyrus. They would never in a million years blame this on Iran, but they would definitely blame this on Rome, the empire that's currently occupying Levant, preventing them from having all of the power and all of the wealth, because that's what they want. The goal, the main driving force, because this is Jerusalem versus Tel Aviv. Jerusalem is where the hardline conservatives are. Tel Aviv is where the liberals are. Tel Aviv doesn't want anything to do with this. Jerusalem are willing to go full.
Dude, if anyone's liberal, it's Tel Aviv, dude.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
You just said the conservatives are. You just said the conservatives are in Tel Aviv.
Conservatives are in Jerusalem.
Well, the
I said
Likud,
conservatives are in Jerusalem like 4
Likud
times.
party is very right wing. But I mean, I take your point, Wayne. You know, you're not wrong, but the people pulling the strings, they're doing all of
Well,
this.
here's the thing: Zionism is
shit.
not right wing. Zionism is extremely left wing. Comes from the same place that communism came from. It's about Jewish supremacy. It's all it's about.
And supremacy, you think, is a progressive thing?
No, I think that Jewish supremacy is. They control both sides. Here's the thing: they fund the Republicans, they fund the Democrats,
That's true.
they fund every single side.
Yes.
The tiny hats control almost all of our politicians. They control almost all of our money, all of our debt in this country. Guess who it's to? Guess who all of our debt goes to?
Just for the record, you know, you're using a lot of words that TikTok is not going to like. So, you know, let's find better ways to put that.
I said tiny hats. I didn't say anything derogatory.
You can say tribal members, you know, J. Crew, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and if you don't
The
like it,
yarmulke
you
wearers.
if you don't like what I'm saying as a host on my show, you can find your way out the door. That's fine too.
Okay, how about we refer to them as the parasites, the yarmulke wearers?
The parasite.
Well, funny. I mean, hey, it'll be your violation, I guess. Anyway, go ahead and make your point.
I mean, I think that they control both sides. They want us all to be fighting over a bunch of dumb shit. Meanwhile, they control all the money. They control all of our politicians. They control all of our entertainment, our media, both sides, not just left or right. And they're going to get kicked out, just like they've been kicked out of all the other 109 countries they've been kicked out of.
A question.
The people in the Conservative Party especially are done with this Jewy nonsense. We're sick of it. We want our politicians to actually act in our interests, not in the interests of the Jews in Israel.
Okay, so
we're sick of that.
Except the people that are doing the most bidding for them currently are the people you're saying that are done with it. And they're the ones that put the person in there that's doing it. I just want to put that out. It's a little comical to make that claim.
What are you talking about?
The
people that I'm talking about?
I
The people that I'm talking to are extremely anti-Jew. What are you talking about?
Well, nobody here is anti-Jew.
I am.
Okay. Well, then you can find your way out the door, sir.
Yeah, what is
because
going on with this?
I don't deal with that. Look, I have nothing against a Jewish person. I don't like that. So if you are a quote-unquote Jewish hater, you can get the fuck out of my space. I don't deal in that. We're talking about people who have this fucking weird supremacist ideology that they believe themselves, for whatever reason, whether they're a Zionist or a J person, that they're somehow fucking superior. But we're not going to lump in and cause collective punishment against an entire group of people when there are people that exist in that community that are not like this. And so you're not going to come up and taint my show and paint us all out to be anti-Semites because it's not fucking true, Wang. So find yourself back to Nick Fuentes' spaces and move along with that. Anyway, Carson, you had a question?
Oh, I was just going to ask him to explain what he meant when he said that Zionism is, what did he say, a leftist ideology? I'm not sure. I was just going to have him elaborate, but it seems to be fascist to me. I mean, I don't know.
He said that, but then he contradicted himself by saying that they support them all. And, which is that they don't really care. It has nothing to do with that, which I do agree with that. I don't think it's a means to an end for the people that are engaging in this behavior. You know what I mean?
Well, as crudely as he did it, though, he's expressing a pretty commonly and growing size sentiment among the right. And a lot of conservatives have kind of had it. Trump made this very, very direct promise to his base, which is one of the key reasons he got elected. And that was no new foreign wars, no new entanglements. And what did he do? Within 14 months of becoming his new term, he violated it directly. In fact, in a way that was so blatant and so anti what he said that this is a war that's very hard to justify. Even on the edges, it's flimsy at best. And then, of course, for such a dangerous location in the world with such a tough adversary, and putting tens of thousands of U.S. soldiers at risk now with a potential ground invasion, this is anathema to everything Trump promised. And so people feel like they got taken for a ride, which they did. This is a Trojan candidate.
Yeah, and sadly, because of
how I've seen Republicans act over the years, I feel like they're more likely to engage in that collective punishment and that just kind of racism that then gets used by this group of people who are the predator to then turn around and claim themselves to be the victim. So what Wang is engaging in is actually helping them do what they do, this group of people, because they've latched onto it, and they use that victim mentality. So Wang, you're actually hurting your own purpose.
Exactly.
Crazy. I don't know. I don't like that shit. People call me misogynist, racist, anti-Semite, none of these things, but
I don't know. That shit's weird to me. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll go on a tangent here because, like, it's going to happen. That collective punishment on that community is going to happen, and it's the people running Israel's fucking fault. You know, in an attempt to save the J people because they have a right to exist, they're then harming themselves, and it's fucked up. I don't know. Captain, what do you think? I'm seeing Captain up here twice. That's weird. Oh, never mind. That's Carson in the bottom. Okay. You were both teacupped, and your profile pictures looked exactly the same. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I got Butch wants to come up. Let's bring up Butch. Butch, what's going on, man? I have not been bananaed. But
Where
I
the
have
hell
been shadow
man?
bananaed.
I have looked. I followed you before. I followed you again. There's certain people, like they say, Hawk and them. They said no. They said I couldn't find even Hawk, and he's got 1.1 million followers. I sent him a message. He sent me back. He goes, "I thought you were banned." I go, "Well, they banned my one account with 26,000 followers." He goes, "Right," because his agent tried to get my account back, and they said it never existed. But anyway, yeah, that guy is the problem. He's uneducated, misinformed, and how he designated Zionism, which does exist, but it's not one particular group of people. But then again, he's probably a Trump supporter. I would guess. You know what I mean? Because when you
It
start
kind of felt that way, yeah.
when you depict one religion or one, it's just like Muslims, like they say. If you don't know them, then, or associate with them, how do you know? You know, because to me, if I come and have a problem with anybody in my family, my first call is actually to a Muslim and actually to a Jewish person because we all hang out together. It's just crazy. But he's unaware that Grand Central Station, last year, the first time when what was going on in Gaza, what organization shut down the airport in New York? It was a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi, because he was appalled at what they were doing, staining their name. You know Ruffalo, you know, the movie star?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about him?
Mark outspoke, was on there, and he's saying exactly how the Jewish people that I know feel. I mean, I know Jewish people that won't go back to Israel because when he went and got his son out of jail and brought him back with the help of different politicians in this country, and this was back in the 90s, he was told by, you know, the government, you come back, you'll never leave Tel Aviv. Yeah, he was told that. And his whole family, none of them. Blondie, I
Tucker
was just with him.
Carlson can attest to that. Because when
What's
he
that?
tried to leave, they detained his ass at the airport and demanded to know what he talked about with his own diplomat.
Who are you talking about?
Tucker Carlson went there to interview Huckabee. And when he left, they detained his ass until he, you know, they interrogated him or whatever for the interview with Huckabee.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is an American diplomat. And, like, it's so weird.
Yeah,
But now, Butch, to go back to something you said, interesting, because all last week, this show couldn't get over 35 views. I mean, it was weird. And so if you weren't able to even find me, that makes sense. So maybe the TikTok is doing some weird shit because all of a sudden I go live today and, you know, my numbers are back up. So I don't. But
yeah,
what's also
I was
interesting
scrolling.
is now that my numbers are back up, the very people that are trying to cancel the show want to pop in and talk shit and do weird shit in the comments.
Right.
Kind of nuts.
But when they talk like that, you always oppose that kind of bullshit because that's just pure bullshit. Because I've had people come up to me and say, you know, we have a group, we meet at Dunkin', right? And it's like, I'm always with Joe and I'm always with Muhammad, right? It's like these people come in there and they start talking and then they put their foot in their mouth because I say, first of all, you just insulted him. And second of all, you kind of insulted him too, what you just said about, the T word, the tear, But anyways, the bottom line is, no, Zionists. And then he put it to the left. He said it was the liberals or the leftists, that's who they are. That's such bullshit. It's like, no, if he should research what the word means and what it is, because it does exist. And I will agree. Like I told you, I think I sent you a friend of mine. He was a congressman for 17 years. And basically what they did to him. But the bottom line is, Zionists is Christians. They are, there's Jewish, I will say that the group of them there, they basically started this when they infiltrated our country, when they got UK and the, United States. They joined, after they bankrupt the first empire, well, not the first, but in current days, the UK, after they basically bankrupt them, you know what I mean, and took control of UK, they basically latched onto the new cash cow, United States, when we agreed with them and set up the state over there in Palestine. But, I've done all that shit. I've read the history, just like the Liberty and all that stuff. These people over there running the government, the Jewish religion, and you can ask any true, really Jewish person that they will tell you that their religion and their government was hijacked. And they will tell you.
Well, it's the synagogues of Satan. It's written into the Bible. That's the word for it. Synagogues of Satan. It's people who claim to be that. I'm not even being derogatory. It's literally written into the Bible. That's the reference to that. Synagogues of Satan. It all seems silly to me, but whatever. Now to that, does anybody have any comments or responses? Because I'm not exactly certain I understood your point, Butch, but
what do you mean?
I'm not sure what your overall point was exactly.
Well, my point is Zionism has taken over our government.
Oh, that's a fucking fact. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like Larry, Allison is probably watching you in his living room right now saying, I got to get this guy off the air.
Maybe. Who knows? After being on TikTok, seeing weird things go on, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But look, they can monitor now, and it's probably more now, but a year ago they had announced they could monitor 8 billion social media posts a day. So the AI is running. That's what these data centers are for. These data centers are not to help you with your programming or answer a question for you that you typed into ChatGPT. They didn't need all that. This is for mass surveillance.
Right.
They literally wrote it down and said that's what they were doing with it. They've announced it. So people calling me a conspiracy theorist for saying that is weird. But Chip, to what degree do you think the AI stuff in robotics is necessary for what Israel has planned? Because I truly believe that Israel has got some master plan to take over shit. I really do. Of course, that's speculation based on what I see happening. But how much of reliance will they be on surveillance?
Well, it's going to be integral to the controlling the masses. Right now you're going to see a lot of civil disobedience and public discontent with the rising inflation, rising oil prices, economic decline, standard of living lost, and that causes people to get outside their lane. That's history. So what can you do to subdue those who would otherwise rise up and try to change the government? And that is you control them in such a way that you disincentivize that behavior. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you know your money's not going to work if you write something online you're not supposed to, say something you shouldn't, or hang around with people you shouldn't, which is easily trackable by proximity of phones and communications, well, then probably you don't want your family to not be able to eat, or you don't want to not have health care, or you don't want to be able to travel. And once they have the ability to monitor, control using less expensive means like AI to accomplish that with tools in place like digitized currency, medical systems, geofencing, it's very easy through automation to program it all and make life very difficult for anybody who steps outside the bounds.
Yeah. And do you think a lot of what we're seeing is like Israel was the progenitor of that? Where, you know, because of how they engaged in Hebron, like they're really the ones kind of pushing this stuff?
Well, it's a role. It's a combination of wealthy groups of people that are within the Vatican, the Freemasonry, as well as the Zionists and the wealthy cabal of J supremacists. That group combined together has a voracious appetite for power, influence. They use bribery, bullying, blackmail, censorship. They engage in ritualistic child sacrifice, the SEX stuff. They're a sick, disgusting, depraved group of people that believe they're rightfully in charge and can do as they wish.
Right on the money. Right on the money, Chip.
Yeah, do we think collectively, and this is really to everybody on the panel, do we think that there's a way to stop it? Because I'm like, my hope for being able to stifle this to some degree is waning by the day, because I see how quickly they're setting all this shit up and taking over water supplies and stuff in order to get those data centers online to do what they do. Like, do you guys think there's any way to like kind of stop that?
The only thing they fear, Lib, is the masses. That's what they fear.
I don't think there is, honestly. I think that if you want to have a better quality life, you're going to have to get out of the United States. And I've lived outside of the United States even before this went off, and it was way better. But I think that's what it's come down to is, and at this point, are we even going to be able to escape? They're putting ICE in airports. Are like the people who are, dissenting against the government, are we going to be able to get out?
Well,
I don't know.
I know ICE agents, but I know real ICE agents, not people from being in the government before, but they're appalled at what they're doing. And so one's retired and one's still in there. So from my experience, like I say, they're just as appalled at what they're doing to their, department as like one's anticipating taking early retirement and getting out because, he could be coming out because he's a ICE agent, and because like a goof like this was just telling you about Zionism, they may do something to him, and that's what they're worried about. Because you got an elected 34 count felon and rapist, and that's reality. And it's running our country. It's calling the shots. He knows what to do because Bill Barr told him all what the government can do. That's why he took steps in his second term. And you know how odd it is that you haven't seen Bill Barr speaking a word after Trump got reelected?
Well, what purpose would it serve for him to say anything anyway?
Well, I think because he knows, and he's worried because he knows if like something happens and you're going to go say, well, if the local police or something and you think they're involved, who do you go to? You go to the FBI. Well, now you go to the FBI. You're going to a big criminal right now, Kash Patel, and the group of people that put him in charge in the DOJ, which, God, Pam Bondi's gone. Jesus Christ. But wait till you see who replaces him. Right now it's his personal attorney that stepped into the position until he appoints somebody. So,
is she hotter than Pam Bondi?
Todd Blanche, hardly.
Oh, bummer. Get somebody hot in there.
Headley,
she was hot, but just not hot enough to keep her job.
Headley, here you go.
What's up?
This is for you, buddy.
Looking good, buddy.
Look at that. You see that? You like that?
Dude, it's good. The Rogaine is working.
I painted it on there. What are you talking about?
Looks good, man.
Paint that shit. You just, if you do it heavy enough, it looks like real hair.
It looks real to me.
Yeah, you can even like pull on it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna rub my fingers through it one day.
One day, Headley.
One day.
Jeez. Anyway, what's up? You requested up.
Nothing. I just came up to say he is risen. That's it.
Praise be to Allah as well, or
no? Isn't today's Jesus' day?
I don't know. Trump is the one that posted that.
Oh. What did Trump post today?
Let me read it. If you hadn't seen it, let me read it.
I haven't seen it. I mean, I did see the. No, I did. Are you talking about where Trump sounds like he's off his meds?
Yeah, wait, right. Tuesday will be Power Plant
I saw
Day
that.
and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one. In Iran, there will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. So yeah, a little off his meds.
What in that case?
Totally normal.
Well, let's see if he keeps his word Tuesday.
Well, let's just hope he keeps eating Big Macs and shit, right?
I don't think that guy, dude. That guy's like, what's his name? The guy from the Rolling Stones. He just keeps. I can't believe that guy's still around. What's his name?
Keith Richards.
Yeah, Keith Richards. I think Trump's gonna be like him.
That's funny. No, anyway.
Not with all those slurping sounds.
Mick Jagger.
No, I was thinking about Keith Richards.
On his address speech.
Oh, is that the guy that like he walks funny now when he's up there rocking it? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know what he looks like now, but the guy has done everything in his life, and he's still around.
Still rocking it. Who was that does that? I mean, he's got like I think scoliosis or something, and he's still up there just.
Really? I don't know who that is.
Ass. Yeah, Keith Richards is 112 today.
At least.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting close to the oldest person on earth. I don't know. It's crazy because I see sometimes on TikTok these like people that I grew up listening to, still out there rocking it, man. Just old as shit, but still got it,
They don't want to give it up.
Yeah,
they don't want to give it up.
I wouldn't. They
I wouldn't
love
either.
It. Yeah, they love it. I mean, can you imagine the energy that you get from that crowd? Just
how could you give that up?
I imagine that's very addictive. When I've performed in front of people,
it's like Jewish supremacy. Why would you want to give that up?
Oh God, why would you want to start it? That was for Chip.
Oh come on, you liberal. Do you think we sacrifice children like Chip said?
Some people do.
I would want to give it up for the genetic disorders alone.
Some people do. Some people do, Headley.
Sacrifice children?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
What do you think the bombing of the Iranian schoolgirls was?
Oh, is that what you're going to? Well, first of all, that wasn't Israel.
Or what about the e-files?
So that's what you're going to. That's what you're saying is sacrifice is child sacrifice. That's what you're equating to child sacrifice.
An example of how it's employed. Yeah.
An example, right? I mean, Headley, do you really think that child sacrifice does not happen?
Child sacrifice?
Right.
Not by any. I don't know of it. Not by any Jews I know.
Oh, I just meant in general. I mean, people engage in this. People are fucking weird, Headley. I mean, I remember when you first came up, I was like, what the fuck is this dude? Just show me your hair, liberal. Headley's like, show me your hair.
Weird.
You're bald up there.
I am weird.
But we've established I've got some paint up
you've got
upstairs.
hair.
I won't comment on that. It's not worth commenting.
And now he likes it so much he wants to run his fingers through it.
I am gonna run my fingers through it one day and listen to Air Supply.
I don't know why, but you crack me up. Like you're the most interesting character so far I've come across on TikTok. I think.
Well, you always let me up, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lay off the Jews, guys.
Not too.
Awful. He is awful.
Who? Awful? Awfully cute.
Excuse me. My grandpa was Jay. He was in the camp, and he was about.
I heard a female talking. Who was that? Captain, or was that MBW?
Captain.
Yeah, I was saying that my grandpa was Jay. He was in the camps. He was in Treblinka, and he was actually hot as fuck. Once upon a time, before mainly he started to shrink. I swear to God, he started to shrink. But he also renounced his faith when Israel was founded because he said he could never watch people go through the suffering he had as a child. So there is a choice.
Yeah, I mean, people engage in weird behaviors like that underground, like those tunnels that they found in New York. Do you remember that, Headley? I believe those were they Hasidics? that was engaging in that, or was it just like a, you know, kind of free for all down there?
No. The Hasidic, that I will not stand for any Hasidic defamery. It's always Orthodox. The Orthodox are dicks.
Well, whoever it was with the tunnels that they found that were like with the like blood-stained beds and shit, you guys don't remember that?
Yes. Did you see the video of the
Orthodox,
rabbi?
not Hasidic.
Did you see the video of the rabbi explaining exactly what they were doing, Liberal?
Yes. No, I played that
Like,
video on the show. Yeah. So were they Orthodox and Hasidic are separate? Are they different?
Okay, Hasidic are the bad one. Well, not bad. Okay, so they consider Hasidic to be bad because they embrace joy and dancing and women having power. That's why Fiddler on the Roof was about Hasidic community, whereas Orthodox
you
is
got
about
a violation.
Control and dominance.
I got to drop you. You got a violation, Captain.
Whoever you are, you're a
cuck. I don't know what that's about, but I gotta. Let's see. Live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Harassment and bullying. That is weird because like she was defending a group of people. Although maybe it was the comment of, or the bad ones. That might have been it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think she intended it that way, but it didn't come across maybe the way that she meant it.
Yeah, when you get into that subject, that's when, like I say, lives get shut down and everything else.
But either way, like that, the point was that, you know, we've seen some weird fucking things go on, and it's, you know, but, you know, weird shit goes on outside of that community as well. Like the fucking, I don't think I can, the Grove Club, if you guys are familiar with the owl statues, these fucking people were like praying to, like that's, I don't know. I say it's weird. Maybe it's not weird. I don't know. It's odd, I guess. You guys familiar with that?
That I haven't heard of.
The Alex Jones is actually the one that broke that.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago, out in the forest.
It's called Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, well, I was avoiding it because it's last time we got into talking about it, everybody
Sorry
got.
about that.
No, you're fine. Yeah. But yeah, if you're not familiar, Headley, look it up because they have like this. And as a matter of fact, there's a video I think on YouTube you can find the kid like kayaks across this lake or whatever to get over there at night while they're, you know, they got facilities and shit set up there. It's really fucking weird.
Did anybody get hurt, or they were just doing weird stuff?
So when it first started, I think they probably did engage in some actual sacrifices of children. You know, that's total speculation on my part. There's no evidence of that, but you know, back in the day, but now it's mock child sacrifices that has been engaged in out there. So little strange.
Wild
so
stuff.
it does happen. You know, to what degree, who knows? But either way, I'm not even sure how the fuck I got into that topic. Does anybody remember how we got into that?
It's happening in our government.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Easting and all of that stuff that they were engaging in. Like that, this is gross. It's just disgusting. I don't know why that stuff has to happen for shit to happen. Either way, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up anyway. I don't normally go live today. I just, you know, Hawk kind of lit a fire under my ass today, Chip. It was good to be on the panel with you. He runs a great show, Hawk Showtime, HAQ Showtime. If you guys don't know him, look him up. Runs a great live. Ours overlaps a little bit, but you know he does run a great panel. I like the way he does his show. But
You're talking about Hawk the attorney, right?
No, I don't think he's an attorney. Chip, is he? Because I think there's two different Hawks. This one is Hawk Showtime.
HAQ. No, he's an Australian national.
You sure he's not Hack? It's not pronounced Hack?
It might be. I just say Hawk.
In my head, it is.
Hawk Tua is
Hawk. He's an attorney, and he's got 1.1 million followers.
Oh, HAWQ Hawk or K. Yeah, no, different
Hawk.
Yeah, HAQ Hawk. Like a
he's actually from Ohio. He doesn't live. His family don't live too far from me.
Now, is that how he pronounces his name, Chip? I think you know him better than me. Does he pronounce it that way, Hawk?
He actually calls himself HAQ.
Oh, do you know what those initials stand for? I may send him a message and ask him.
No, I have no clue.
Interesting. Either way, it runs a great show. And guys, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Saturday. Headley, always a weird pleasure nonetheless.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, man. All right, well, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. I am doing the man panel 9 to 11 Central Time tomorrow morning. So if you'd like to engage in that, if you're a man that has something on your mind, you're welcome to come in, and it'll just be a space for us for 2 hours. I appreciate it, everybody. Have a great weekend.
See you, Liberal.
Peace.
Okay, Lib, take care. Hey, Lib, give me a follow because you were following with Mar. Remember Mar with his kid and his wife? They couldn't get back, and then we started calling different politicians, and they actually got it. Yeah. Because I asked Mar, I goes, and he couldn't find you either. I said, is that wild or what? I go, yeah, he was following me before for a long time. I said, even when I had my other account. I says, but for some reason, every time I go on his panel, it's red. So I hit it yellow.
Well, it's a shadow ban, and they, not just even the shadow ban, but there's a group of, 800 people were all told to come to my show and report it, to not come up on my panel. People are being attacked if they show up and request up on my panel, unless they go and beg for mercy from those people on the panel, all of which, for the record, I have video of. So it is a thing. It's happening. It's weird, but it is what it is. But either way, guys, have a great weekend, and we will catch you all later. Peace.
All right. Take care, Lib.